We're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
Tonight from Phoenix, Arizona, where, yes, it's still raining, and we have a roof here. It's the Guaranteed Rate Bowl on ESPN. We'll explain all that in a moment. They are in the process of closing the roof as the two teams make their way out of the field here. The big league home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Chase Field, West Virginia out of the Big 12, and Minnesota from the Big 10. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni. Yeah, we're in the desert. Yeah, we have a roof. It's still raining. I think they've got that solved as we get ready for kickoff. We'll dig into the specifics of these two teams. But big picture, Rod, how do you like this matchup?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You've got two really good defenses that are underrated. You've got two veteran quarterbacks who know how to make big plays and two different styles of offense. Minnesota likes to pound it on the ground. West Virginia, on the other hand, they want to let it fly. So this could be a lot of fun, and whichever team is able to impose their will offensively is probably going to win the game.
Well, let's start with the Mountaineers of West Virginia out of the Big 12, maybe inspired by the performance you just saw from Texas Tech. The season in review brought to you by Wasabi did not start well. In fact, both these teams finished the season better than they started. 4 turnovers in their season opening loss against the Terps of Maryland. The Big 12 conference season didn't begin well for the Mountaineers. They were 0-3. They got hammered in Waco against Baylor. That's kind of when things started to turn around, though. Big upset win against top 25 Iowa State. Jared Dagey threw for 370 yards in that one. Won 4 their last 6. Got bowl eligible with their win against Kansas in the regular season finale. The head coach of the Mountaineers is down on the field with Stormy Bonatoni.
That's right, Dave. And Coach, your team was playing some of its best football here late in the season. What are some of the traits of your group late in the year you want to see carried over into today to have success?
Well, we got to stop the run, and we got to take care of the football. I think those are going to be the keys, and we got to have success on first down on both sides of the ball.
No doubt, and somebody I'm sure you'll be relying on to do that is Tony Mathis without Letty Brown out there today. What was your final message for him in his first career start?
Well, this game's going to end past midnight. His birthday's tomorrow, so I said, hey, let's have an early birthday present. Let's get after and have a big game.
Sounds good. Have fun out there. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Stormy.
Dave?
I like it. Thanks, Stormy. Thanks to Neil Brown for his time right up leading into kickoff. All right, let's switch gears and talk about the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Actually, the first Big Ten team to play in this bowl season. So the Big Ten's bowl season gets started with this Golden Gophers group.
Yeah, for Minnesota, what it could have been. They were this close to being a 10-win team and actually winning the West in the Big Ten. But this is a team that's really solid, and it's really about their offensive line. And if they get things going with that offensive line that's the best in college football, they're really, really hard to beat.
It's certainly the biggest. We're going to talk lots about that group up front. How about how did the Golden Gophers get here to Phoenix for this Guaranteed Rate Bowl? Well, PJ Fleck's team, Rod mentioned the loss, really hard to explain against Bowling Green. One of the biggest upsets in college football this year at home. And people were not thinking that this year was going to end up with an 8-win season, and yet an undefeated month of October for Minnesota. They were in first place in the Big Ten West after their win against Northwestern at the end of the month, and they finished with a rivalry win against Wisconsin. They took back the axe first time since 2018, a very big deal for this Minnesota team. And their head coach, PJ Fleck, who in 2019 had a special year. Last year with COVID, things just weren't great around their program and so many others in college football this year. Much better result. And for more on the Minnesota Golden Gophers, let's go back on the field to Stormy.
Well, Dave, we got to talk about this Minnesota offensive line because they are one of the deepest and most experienced in all of college football. Coming into today, they have an FBS leading 230 combined starts. Oh, and by the way, they're also the biggest offensive line in all of college football. Across that line, they average 6.5 feet tall, 336 pounds. Okay, the smallest guy on that line is Connor Olson at left guard, and he's 310, and they're also very good on the football field. These guys all were Big Ten all-conference selections, 2 of them first-teamers, and PJ Fleck kind of joked with us earlier this week that, you know, there's this long streak of 15 years where no Minnesota offensive lineman has been drafted. He thinks that it's probably going to end this year. They're all NFL size, you guys.
I think it is going to end, Stormy. Thanks for that. And, Rod, it's sort of hard to believe a program playing in the Big Ten hasn't had an offensive lineman drafted in that long of a time. This group is going to change that big time.
Yeah, it's not a question of whether they're going to have a guy drafted. They're going to have several, maybe all 5, definitely 4 of those guys will be drafted. And it's not just the size. It is the talent and skill, the footwork. the aggressiveness. It's a fun offensive line to watch.
So here we go, and they did get the roof closed here at Chase Field. Unique venue in the baseball park for a college football game. Minnesota won the toss. They have deferred, so West Virginia is going to get the ball first, and here we go. From Phoenix, and the kickoff a little bit short of the goal line, so it is returnable. And right away, we see a little pitch back that Minnesota was ready for. Winston Wright ended up with the football, but good special teams coverage from the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, good thing to have trickeration, but you got to trick them. It doesn't work if you don't trick them.
So the West Virginia offense will come on the field. Jared Dagey is their starting quarterback, has been for a while. We're going to talk a lot about him and his relationship with the fans of the Mountaineers. It's been a little up and down. His brother Seth played for Neil Brown, looking very young back in his Texas Tech days. Seth had a great career there with the Red Raiders. The Bowling Green quarterback for a couple of seasons has started every game since November of 2019. Dagey on the field for the Mountaineers. 1st and 10, and a lot of time to throw. Ultimately going to check it down to Tony Mathis. You heard from his head coach about Tony Mathis starting a game for the first time in his college career, and he gets the catch on play number 1.
Yeah, he is the understudy to the Broadway actor who finally gets his shot, and big stage tonight, so we'll see how Tony Mathis handles things.
And right away, some quicker tempo, no huddle look for the Mountaineers. That ball slips right through the hands of Sam James, the intended target, and for West Virginia, lucky it falls incomplete.
You know, Flynn, this is a big game for Dagey. You know, thinking back to his bowl game last year where he didn't play well, as you see this incompletion, got benched during that game and has had an up and down season. He's sort of looking for some redemption tonight because, I mean, who doesn't want to be liked? Who doesn't want to have the fans appreciate them? And that has not been the case for him all season long.
Been a lot of good this year, been some not so good. A little pressure came. West Virginia picked it up. Dagey, though, not getting rid of the ball, finally does throw it up, and it is incomplete. Knocked away. Man, that play, he had forever to find somebody open, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah, he's staring into the teeth of an 8-man drop back there. There were no underneath places. And he is a quarterback who loves to throw short passes in intermediate ones, and that area was flooded by Minnesota. So nowhere to go, had plenty of time, and ultimately ran out of time.
Tyler Sumter, the punter, out on the field, so it's a 3-and-out for West Virginia. And Dagey, Brock Annexted, is the punt returner for the Gophers, who are looking to get good field position for their first offensive possession. Kind of a low punt. Fair catch right around the 42-yard line, so that's where Minnesota will have it for the first time. And the Gophers offense comes on the field with Tanner Morgan, just like Dagey, lots of experience. And Morgan, who comes from a football family, his cousin, the great Kentucky quarterback Tim Couch. It's been a tough year for Tanner and his family. His dad Ted is a great man, great part of his life, football and otherwise. Passed away from a brain tumor back in July. He is going to return for his 6th year. He's already announced that in 2022. His numbers this year were way down from where they were a couple seasons ago, but Minnesota feels like he can still play some of his very best football tonight and leading into 2022. A play fake on the first play of the game, and he delivers a strike for completion to Daniel Jackson, and that looks to be just enough. Well, about a half-yard short of a first down.
Well, I think his struggles this season were certainly understandable with his dad passing, and one of the things that his dad told him before he passed was, hey, look, go play football, no excuses. But you can say that, but he was working through his grief, and to be with PJ Fleck, a man who really focuses on working through grief and who has known Tanner for a long time, was probably the best person to be around him.
His receiving core was very banged up for a lot of the year. They are healthy right now. Tight end goes in motion on 2nd down and short, and a handoff straight ahead run for a nice gain and a Minnesota first down. That's Kai Thomas. It's kind of a 1-2 combo right now. 2 freshman running backs with all the injuries Minnesota has had at that position.
Yeah, 7 scholarship running backs. They lost 5 of them this year, and some pretty good ones. And these freshmen are really good, and they complement each other. Thomas is aggressive, powerful, can break tackles. And Irving, man, he can change directions in a hurry.
Mohamed Ibrahim, who really is one of the best running backs in the Big Ten, has missed almost the entire season, got hurt very early. Thomas still in the backfield into West Virginia territory, and Morgan with a play fake. He can run a little bit. He'll throw on the run. His receivers slip down. And you do wonder, I mean, it's so unusual. Number one, we're playing in a baseball stadium where they have to create a football field.
Yeah.
So that's one issue. Number two, even though they have the retractable roof, it was open for some pregame ceremonies, and it rained on the field.
Yeah, I think he was where, in short center field or right center when he threw that ball?
Yeah, well, maybe we'll map out the baseball diamond as we go along. But it's possible that the playing surface is a little slippery right now.
Well, you know, the roof was open. They didn't close it until after we came on the air, but the rain was coming down. People were wondering what the heck is going on.
Yeah, why do we have this roof? Oh, okay. Now it's closed. Second down, and the handoff left side run for Thomas. Not a whole lot of room there.
Well, the challenge for West Virginia defensively is how to beat Minnesota's offensive line to the punch. They are so much bigger than what West Virginia produces up front. I think the largest guy up front for West Virginia is about 280 pounds, 275. Their linebackers, the heaviest guy is 225. So you got to be quick, you got to move. It's the only way to do it. Let's see if they can get some pressure here.
Third down and 9. Minnesota generally good on third down, although 3rd and 9 a little different from what they're normally facing. Morgan in the shotgun, has time across the middle, and right there on target for a completion to Dalen Wright. First down, Golden Gophers.
So comfortable in the pocket, a 4-man rush. It all gets picked up. Morgan's able to step up. He had his eyes on his receiver the entire time. Good first down.
Change at offensive coordinator for Minnesota in this bowl game. Mike Sanford was let go at the end of the regular season. Very familiar name is going to take over after this bowl game. Kirk Shiraka, who had great success at Minnesota with P.J. Fleck a couple years ago, is going to come back to the program. Handoff on first down, and Thomas with a nice run inside the 10 for another Minnesota first down.
The right side of that offensive line that we've been talking about just dominated on that play. You know, you had a double team block, and then watch as they climb up to the linebackers. You see number 7 there, Josh Chandler-Simido, who could not get involved because he had a lineman in front of him.
Well, those are the big, I mean, they are huge, but look at number 78. Daniel Faalele is just one of the biggest players I've ever seen.
Well, and he's smaller now than when he was a freshman. He was over 400 pounds then, and now he's, what, 375 now, 380?
He's trimmed up to 380. On the right side of the line, Thomas takes it, a little stutter step move to get down to the 5. Matt Simon to finish the thought on their offensive coordinator is calling the plays. Their wide receivers coach there is Daniel. I mean, just take the NFL team that shares Minneapolis as a hometown. They're way bigger than the Vikings offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? The guys who get paid for it are smaller than the Minnesota Gophers offensive line.
And your point about the guys up front for Minnesota, there are several of them, maybe all of them, are going to get paid at some point to play football.
Yeah. So here's the heavy set. You've got a couple of extra tight ends in now.
Timeout.
And
Minnesota
had to call a timeout. The play clock was winding down. So we will take our first break here from Phoenix. PJ Fleck's team knocking on the door, still scoreless first quarter. Well, it took them a while. It just got fully completed yesterday. The transformation, the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, big league ballpark here in downtown Phoenix. Just a little time lapse to tell you all the work, show
really
you all
cool.
the work that it took.
That is very cool.
Yeah, and here we are. You can see the left field foul pole.
So this is heading into the left field seats.
That's exactly right. Where Paul Goldschmidt hit a lot of home runs over the years, and many other Diamondbacks. Out of the timeout, it's 2nd and goal for Minnesota. Tanner Morgan, play fake. Pressure got picked up, and he'll throw. It's knocked down. What a nice play that was. That's Lance Dixon, who's made a couple good plays in the early moments of this game. 3rd down.
Yeah, he saw that all the way. And he didn't take the fake. He just dropped into the flat area and was perfectly waiting for it. Had a chance to pick that off. Kept it up in the air, might have got it.
If that one hung up just a second longer, who knows? He might have taken it all the way to the first baseline on the other end of this field.
I'm surprised they threw it on that down, considering the success they had running the ball.
So now 3rd and goal. Play clock again winding down. Morgan looking left, and he's not going to get away. He gets sacked. And that's Dante Stills, who had a great year. First team Big 12. Dante Stills gets the sack to force 4th and long.
Big sack there. Great inside move. Uses his quickness. Watch him. Left side of your screen circled for you there. Watch the move he makes to get inside. Quickness, and then gets that leverage with the left shoulder underneath the pads of Andres. Man, that's a big sack.
So Matthew Trickett, the place kicker, out for a 33-yard attempt, and that kick is up and no good. He missed it. So that very impressive drive for Minnesota ends with no points at all.
Yeah, this should have been a piece of cake, you know, and he just never got it to the right side. He kicked it straight where he was aiming, not towards the center at all.
Foul ball, so to speak, here at Chase Field. Well, this season, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate also donated to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate. 10-play drive, no points. So Dagey and the Mountaineers back on the field for the 2nd time, and a little swing pass out into the right flat. That's caught by Winston Wright Jr., but a good open field tackle, short gain.
So the quick passing game will replace the rushing attack for West Virginia. They're not a great rushing team, and they're without Lady Brown tonight. You don't want to put everything on Tony Mathis in his first start.
Mathis, another fake to him, and another pass right to right, and this one no gain whatsoever.
Listen, when you got a corner playing in press coverage in the face of the receiver, you can't really throw that play out there. Even if you think you have a blocker, they're so close to the line of scrimmage, they're going to take that away from you.
Mountaineers haven't run the ball yet, and you figure they're not going to be running it here on 3rd and 6.
Find 34 Maffei and block him if you're West Virginia. He is an elite pass rusher, and he's showing that he's on that left side of the defense right now, ready to come after him.
And now a second timeout West Virginia in the early going. This time it's West Virginia. Boye Maffei had an excellent year as a pass rusher, playing his final game with the Gophers. 3rd down when we come back to Phoenix right after this.
The Guaranteed Rate Bowl is brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. Get cash out of your home with a cash out refi from Guaranteed Rate. Learn more at rate.com. And The Book of Boba Fett, streaming Wednesday only on Disney+.
Yeah, it's a cool video. These two teams, part of the bowl activity, spent some time with local kids over in Scottsdale. The Mountaineers, kids from Special Olympics, Arizona, the Golden Gophers over in Tempe. Hung out with some kids who are fighting neuromuscular disorders, and both coaches talked about how meaningful those experiences seem to be for their players. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl here from Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. No score, 3rd and 6 out of the timeout. West Virginia. Dagey with pressure coming, gets hit and kind of floated one up there that gets knocked down, almost intercepted. It'll be 4th down.
Perfect defense for Minnesota. You want to affect the quarterback. You don't have to have sacks. Dagey is a guy who likes to be a drop back guy. Force him to move his feet, force him to be concerned about pressure, and you will have success. That's exactly what they did. You see here the late blitz coming from Howden, 23, and make no doubt about it, Dagey knew he was coming.
Kind of threw that one up for grabs. I think Donald Willis was the guy who got a hand on it. So it's 4th down, second punt in the first quarter for West Virginia. Second kind of low line drive punt. And for the second time, Minnesota is going to have very good field position with still 7:56 to go in quarter number 1.
I wonder if Minnesota will kind of go back to basics a little bit as you look at what we got for tomorrow.
Yeah, our college football look ahead is brought to you by Dollar General. 3 games tomorrow at Yankee Stadium. Another baseball park hosting a bowl game. Maryland, Virginia Tech at 2:15. Clemson, Iowa State. Good matchup in Orlando. The Cheez-It Bowl, then the Valero Alamo Bowl. Oregon and Oklahoma, 9:15 Eastern on ESPN from San Antonio. Always a great host for the Alamo Bowl.
You know, Oklahoma and Iowa State are pretty good defensive teams as well.
Tanner Morgan going deep. That one is caught in traffic. Dalen Wright once again, his second big play already in this game. The transfer from Texas A&M all the way down the field, well into West Virginia territory.
Yeah, this is trusting your receiver because there's good coverage here and another man coming over. But it's 6'3". Mr. Wright knows how to go up and get it, and Morgan trusted him to make this play.
Well, Minnesota airing it out a little bit in quarter number 1. That one 36 yards inside the 25.
Daryl Porter, number 2 at 5'10", is trying to get up there with the much taller receiver, right?
Marquise Irving now the tailback, another freshman, and he gets the ball down to about the 19. They call him Bucky, true freshman from Illinois. Part of that combo that, with all the injuries that you talked about at the running back position, picked up the slack.
Yeah, Bucky, he likes being called Bucky. People are trying to call him other things, and finally he said, look, I like Bucky. I've been called Bucky since I was a kid and had buck teeth.
It's a little sensitive around Minnesota, where Bucky the Badger is the mascot for Wisconsin, so I think they were looking for an alternative. They don't want to say Bucky as many times as they have to say it, but Bucky himself said, no, that's my name.
Right.
Call me that, please. A little quick hitter out to the right side, down close to the 15. Daniel Jackson with the catch to set up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, one of the challenges for Minnesota offensively is how to get Ottman Bell, number 7, involved in the game. I mean, he's their premier receiver, and West Virginia is well aware of him. So he's attracting a lot of attention, sort of like Steph Curry on the basketball court. So how do you get him free? How do you loosen him up so that you can throw the ball to him?
At least one extra offensive lineman, plus the big blocking tight end Co Keeft in on 3rd down and 3. And it could be that for Minnesota, they're thinking we got 2 plays to get 3 yards. Handoff, Thomas. They don't need 2 plays. The ball comes out, though. He had the 1st down, and then the ball came out. Charles Woods was there to scoop it up. It's a turnover, and West Virginia comes up with the ball.
It's the second time in the red zone that the West Virginia defense has come up with a play to turn Minnesota away. Now, again, here's your freshman Thomas, and he just gets the ball knocked out. It looked like it was an inadvertent knockout in the middle of the field. Was that Alston who got in there on it?
I think I'm going to give Taj Alston some credit there. I think his right hand got in to help punch the ball away.
Yeah, I don't know that he was trying to, but it happened.
So not great field position, but as you say, 2 drives for Minnesota deep into Mountaineer territory and 0 points on the board. Finally, West Virginia decided, let's hand the ball off, maybe try that. And it worked. It was a nice gain. It'll be 2nd and 4. Mathis gets another carry, and he will get very close to a 1st down. Jack Gibbons, who led the Gophers in tackles this year. First red zone turnover all year for PJ Fleck's team.
Well, they're running against Minnesota. Minnesota's in that nickel defense. They're 2 linebackers, brought an extra defensive back in, and so you want to challenge that. If you feel you can run, you can challenge that defense.
I mean, they talked up Tony Mathis a lot. Stormy discussed it right as we were coming on the air. They believe in Tony Mathis, so we'll see how many chances he gets tonight. Pressure right up the middle, and Daggy had no chance to get away. Wow, that happened fast.
Well, correctly from the edge, you know, 2 elite pass rushers. Maffei's on one side, Odomewao is the other side, and you know, if you don't get one, the other might get you.
That was quick. Second down and long. Diggy is going down right at the goal line.
Oh, man. This is a turnstile. They are not stopping anybody.
That was Boye Mafe. So Adamewo, the first sack, now Mafe.
Oh, and that was a no-hitter on that left side. Mahe hardly got, look at the hands, the use of the hands to swim around the tackle and get to the quarterback. That took him just half a second.
So they are going to stop play here.
In the field of play. That play is under further review.
And they are going to review, and presumably going to review whether the quarterback stayed out of the end zone.
Well, I think West Virginia has learned already now that two guys who can get to the quarterback on the edge, you're going to have to give some help. Now, you want to spread them out, but you're not protecting your quarterback. You're going to have to find a sixth blocker or seventh blocker to help you, or else he's going to spend an awful lot of time on his back.
I don't think that should be a safety.
Yeah.
But they're taking a look.
Remember, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call. From our vantage point, it looks like the ball did not break the plane and get into the end zone.
I mean, my understanding of this rule is where he gets hit there and starts to go down, where the ball is at that point is where they're going to spot the ball.
So I don't think there's enough there to overturn it.
I mean, it's obviously very close, but I think they got it right.
I tell you one thing, though. Dagey is not comfortable.
No.
After further review, the ruling on the field that the runner was down in the field of play is confirmed. It's third down.
Okay, good job using review.
You know what? They did that pretty quickly, too.
They did.
We should pat them on the back for that.
Okay, there's your pat for the game.
Cool.
Now what do you do? It's 3rd and 25. You can't protect your quarterback early, and you're at the half-yard line.
You simply run the ball to get out of this and hope to live to fight for another day.
I hope that you actually can get out of there.
Now, here's the thing I don't like, though. You're snapping the ball 5 yards deep into the end zone.
They do give it to Tony Mathis, and Mathis stayed on his feet. That's an important few extra yards just to give the punt team a little breathing room. That was actually a really good run.
Individual effort, great balance, using his right hand to stay up, and every yard matters here. Look at this one. Right hand gets him another 4 or 5 yards.
That was outstanding. You see why they like Tony Mathis so much.
Who doesn't root for the understudy, huh?
Chance to play on a big stage from nearly the back of the end zone. Tyler Sumter, punt returner Annexted, is standing right around midfield. This one a much higher punt and a better punt. Fair catch right around the 46. Still, though, outstanding field position for the Gophers, who've been moving the ball in the first quarter. They just haven't been scoring in the first quarter. 0-0 in Phoenix. All right, while we have a moment, our Bowl Challenge Cup standings are brought to you by Progressive. This game, of course, Big 12 versus Big 10. Big 10's first bowl game here tonight, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The one that stands out to me is the SEC.
Yep.
0-4.
Texas Tech took down Mississippi State today. How about Auburn losing? Houston getting a big win there.
Yeah, Auburn lost in Birmingham against Houston. Mississippi State, Mike Leach's team, got absolutely hammered by Texas Tech. Handoff on first down, and a nice move out into the open field. Man, the quickness of Bucky Irving on display there. He's got a very bright future ahead inside the 40 of the Mountaineers.
Love his style. Love watching him. So quick, so talented. Watch how quickly he gets in here. And then the change of direction right back to the inside. Great feet.
So Minnesota's 3 drives have started at their own 43, their own 42, this time at their own 46. All 3 times they've gone right down the field. In the process of doing that here, but they still have not scored. And Irving slips on what seems to still be kind of wet turf in Phoenix.
Yeah, blame it on the roof.
I mean, if you're just joining us, you're thinking, wait a minute, this is a baseball stadium with a retractable roof because of the heat in the summertime to keep the air conditioning in. They had pregame ceremonies that involved parachuters before the game. So it was raining, and yet the roof was open, and the field got wet.
Don't forget the fireworks.
Oh, they had to let everybody
too.
see the fireworks, too. That was a nice fireworks display. 2nd and 11. Tanner Morgan, play fake. That one was tipped, I thought. Still completed. But for a pretty short gain to Mike Brown-Stevens. Good tackle by Jackie Matthews in the open field.
Well, Mike Brown-Stevens may have to step up and make some plays because Ottman Bell has really drawn a lot of attention. And so another receiver has got to help get it done. He's not a bad guy to get that thing going. Famous uncle and his family.
Ottman Bell, meanwhile, is wide to the right on 3rd down and about 6. Morgan from the shotgun. Pressure got picked up very nicely by the big boys up front, and the delivery across the middle to Daniel Jackson. Very close. We'll see where they spot him. I think he got it, and he did. 1st down, Minnesota.
Yeah, good route, a clear out. One receiver goes deep down the field, opening things up underneath, and Morgan waited and came back. Watch here, good pass protection. Plenty of time to check on down to his receiver in the flat.
Try to get past that wall. I mean, it's a challenge. West Virginia, we asked Neil Brown, what's been your best position group this year? Without even a minute hesitation, said defensive line. Their defensive line played really well this year. But it is a supreme challenge against the big guys up front tonight. Handoff straight ahead. Not a lot of room there. Gain of a couple yards.
I mentioned Michael Brown-Stevens' famous uncle. First name John. Not John Stevens. John Legend. The incredibly talented artist who just can do just about anything. Win an Oscar, an Emmy.
Well, hopefully he's watching his nephew tonight.
They are close. Gives them a little feedback weekly.
Oh, okay. 2nd down and 8. And now
It's the end of the first quarter.
The end of the first quarter. So these two teams, while the roof was open when they ran on the field. Where are we? I thought this was the desert. The ball may be a little slippery. Minnesota's defense has been outstanding. No score in Phoenix. You're watching the Guaranteed Rate Bowl on ESPN from downtown Phoenix, Arizona, West Virginia, and Minnesota. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni. We start quarter number 2. Nothing, although that doesn't totally tell the story of how this game has been played. 11 plays from scrimmage for West Virginia and Neil Brown. 6 total yards. Minnesota, they have 123 yards of offense. They've moved the ball well, but a missed short field goal and a fumble inside the 10. Gophers on the move again. 2nd down. Bucky Irving in the backfield alongside Tanner Morgan, who wants to make an adjustment to the play call and is moving Irving where? To his right side. So they got lined up and they hand it to him. And he gets to that corner. Irving inside the 10 and gets walloped inside the 5. Hops right back up. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Golden Gophers.
Well, they got to the edge because the tight end, Brevin Spanford, does a great job. He gets a block there on the edge, make sure he's able to hook number 10 Bartlett. And when you can't set the edge, you're giving up a big run.
Sean Mahone put a huge hit on, but Irving popped right up. 1st and goal, and look who is in the backfield.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Now wait a minute. Timeout. Who's calling a timeout? West Virginia saw. They took one look at Daniel Faalele at 380 pounds, lined up as a fullback, and said, "We need to talk about this."
Do you remember William Refrigerator Perry?
Of course.
For the Bears. I mean, I think he was a big guy then and went at what, 320 or something. Not the biggest guy now. When you think about big guys in the backfield. That's almost a 400-pounder.
I mean, Daniel Fa'alele, who is playing in his final game for Melbourne, Australia, he was in the huddle like it was just his normal deal. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's Josh Chandler. Simido saw that and said, wait a minute. We need to talk about this. Who's tackling the big guy?
He is twice as big as Bucky Irving. You know, and I hope PJ Fleck says, forget about it. Who cares if they called a timeout? I'm lining him in the backfield again.
Exactly. You know, he only had, 1 year of high school football at the IMG Academy in Florida. Prior to that, he was a rugby guy, a basketball guy. And he has certainly figured out the football thing.
All right, so is this a deke? He's sort of lined up like he might be the right tackle again. Out of the timeout.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Could be the biggest touchdown in college football history. Maybe, unofficially. He gets the ball straight ahead. And
oh, man.
No signal yet. Touchdown.
Oh, man.
That's what a bowl game's for.
Absolutely. You know how sometimes in Pee Wee football you say that kid can't play with us because he's too big? That's what that's like.
It looks unfair.
Yeah, you know, West Virginia's thinking, really? I got to tackle this guy?
How bad did he want that?
Oh. And when he gets to the NFL, he'll tell his teammates, I scored a touchdown. Like, really? You know, he's got it on tape now.
That's a pretty cool moment.
Absolutely.
For a guy who's been a great player for Minnesota. Now Brock Annexstad is the holder. He's not the normal holder on place kicks. That's not the normal running back either. Still with a smile on his face.
That might have been the play of the bowl season so far.
Now go back to doing what you do normally. And they are going to run a fake. Annexstad is going to run it in for the 2-point conversion. Well, your antenna goes up when it's a different holder in the game. He took the snap and just ran it right in.
Well, your antenna went up. West Virginia didn't notice there was a punt returner receiver at holder who hadn't been there all year.
Well, I mean, that's what we say about these postseason games. Try some different stuff. Does that count?
Oh, this is as different as it's going to get. Have some fun in your bowl game. Make that young man happy, and then make another guy happy with a little more trickeration.
All right, seems like the perfect time for our clutch delivery, brought to you by Chipotle. 6'9", 380, Daniel Fa'alele with the touchdown run, first of his career.
That is impressive. That is fun. That gets your teammates fired up. That's a huge moment. That's a great moment in college football bowl season.
And if you're running a Chipotle and that young man walks in, you're thinking, I don't know that we have enough for Big Daniel.
Oh, man. Look at that smile.
Just great. And a reward for a lot of great football over the years. Yeah. Playing his final game with the Gophers. They're going to lose 4 offensive linemen from this team. Their center will come back next year. That'll be a big challenge for 2022. In the meantime, 8-0 Minnesota. It's their first points of the game. And a touchback on the kickoff. Well, Thursday, we got a lot of good college football. Bowl season is now off and running, even with some cancellations from Charlotte, right around Carolina. That's an old-timey rivalry. The Dukes Mayo Bowl, Tennessee and Purdue, and the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl in Nashville. Then Wisconsin, Arizona State, our friend Herm Edwards and the Sun Devils from the SRS distribution. Las Vegas Bowl, that beautiful NFL venue, at 10:30 Eastern on Thursday. All right, we'll see if West Virginia's offense can get it going. The throw across the middle, and that's Winston Wright Jr. for a first down gain.
Go run pass option, fake the run, draw the linebacker in, throw the ball where he was. Get rid of it quickly. They've got to protect Dagey.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time, it doesn't seem like. Mathis, the delayed handoff, and Tony Mathis with a nice run along the sideline, and he stayed in bounds long enough to get, I think, another West Virginia first down. Yes. He's just a sophomore from Orlando. They thought big things coming into this year with their star returning Letty Brown, and Tony got hurt right as the year began and just wasn't himself for a long time. Finally got healthy. The season finale, the regular season finale in the second half against Kansas, he was outstanding. But tonight, starting a game as the primary back for the first time in his career, Dagey takes another big hit and throws it incomplete. Man, he got just popped by Jack Gibbons. Second down.
We talked about affecting the quarterback. It doesn't have to be a sack, but they are coming after him. They are knocking him around. He's not getting comfortable, and you got a mismatch too when you've got a linebacker coming over Mathis and another guy running free. It's been a problem. He's been knocked around the entire game.
2nd and 10 for the Mountaineers. Dagey throws. That one completed on the right side. This is Sean Ryan into Minnesota territory down to the 45. It'll be 3rd down and short.
Yeah, you know, Flint, but that's the trade-off that you make when you decide that you want to spread a team out. You are compromising your protection for the quarterback. So if your guys don't get open quickly, you don't get rid of the ball quickly, your quarterback's going to take a beating.
Dagey throws across the middle, and that's caught for another West Virginia first down, and even more inside the 30. The ball actually got popped down and came backwards a little bit, I think, Sam James, but a first down West Virginia.
Difference there was protection. Dagey had time to wait for James to come across the field on that slow, long developing crossing route.
So they say 15 yards. Down to the Minnesota 30. Dagey in the backfield, going to throw it again. Short left to Mathis, who made a great move. Still on his feet. Cuts it inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line.
You know, he went to the same high school as Nick Chubb, and they're good friends. He's trained with them, worked with them, and you can see, you know, he's got that confidence too, and that little motor that Chubb has as well.
He grew up in Orlando, but went to high school in Georgia. He was the guy who took over for Nick Chubb when he left to go play in college. False start against West Virginia. It's been a relatively penalty-free first half so far. But this is the best drive easily for West Virginia.
Really good move there. And again, we see him keep his balance on those plays, using that offhand.
Second down, Dagey. Well, he's not known for his running, but there was nobody over there. He'll go into a slide. He'll be well short because they're going to spot him back close to the 25-yard line.
Let me ask you this. If you're Dagey, do you come back next year? You've got another year of eligibility. You know, up and down year. Fans have been riding you. You know, do you come back? Do you go to transfer portal? You go to the league?
Mathis straight ahead, and that's a West Virginia first down. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be a lot of competition at the quarterback position, even if Dagey comes back.
Right.
With all his experience. Very talented recruit coming from high school, actually from the Phoenix area, from Hamilton High School. One of the top-ranked recruits West Virginia has ever gotten. Plus, I mean, Garrett Green, who plays behind him, is talented.
Like
Will Crowder, a true freshman, also has done a good job on the scout team this year. Dagey toward the end zone into big coverage, knocked away, but here comes a penalty flag. Trying to hit Sam James, the flag thrown.
Yeah, I think Newbin 27 had him wrapped up before the ball got there.
Pass interference, defense number 27, 15-yard penalty.
He's riding him right there. Yeah. The fact that he didn't turn his head around probably hurt him. He had that right hand on him. If you're going to put your hands on the guy, you need to put the backside hand where they don't see it. But he's got the right side. I don't know that he impeded him, though. I don't think that he really affected him.
It was definitely a risky throw from Jared Dagey.
Yeah.
But the penalty means it's 1st and goal Mountaineers. With Mathis in the backfield. Against the tough run defense, can West Virginia find a way to punch it in? Mathis gets wrestled to the ground.
West Virginia is not the kind of offense that lines up under center with a fullback and a tailback to try and pound the ball in. They are really pistol formation. Snap it back east-west. It's a little harder to run straight ahead out of this formation.
So now 2nd and goal. Still more than 10 minutes to go until halftime. West Virginia looking for their first points. Daigie's going to throw. Again, tons of time. Pump fake and a penalty flag thrown. That just was awkward looking the whole way. He is not a scrambler.
No.
I think part of what has made West Virginia fans a little cranky with him.
Defense number 0.
It's a hold though against Minnesota's defense for that long developing play. Ultimately the penalty will help the Mountaineers. I think part of the crankiness with the fan base has been he doesn't have the ability to help the offense with his legs very often.
Yeah, that's Wally in the end zone hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, he definitely had a hand on the jersey there. Justin Wally, who's a really talented young player from Minnesota.
Listen, you know, if your guy's going to run free in the end zone, you grab him. Better to take the penalty than to give up 6.
And Minnesota late getting on the field with the right defensive personnel, and so they call Minnesota. A timeout.
Second charge,
trying to rush onto the field. PJ Fleck.
You know what happens sometimes? The guy who's calling the plays forgets where the sideline is and how far those players have to go to get in position. You can call that defense, and you look up, and now you're asking 2 big guys to sprint 40 yards to get on the field.
PJ showed off some of his old wide receiver speed getting down to call that timeout. He was moving.
He still got it. He races his team at the end of each quarter.
He does. You're right. We might have to show that sometime tonight. Well, while we have a minute, bowl season continuing on Thursday night, and it's a really interesting matchup. 2 teams who just had great years. Pitt and Michigan State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, 7 Eastern, right here on ESPN. It'll stream live on the app. 2 top 15 teams. I'm sure the place will be packed. Pat Narduzzi, the head coach of Pitt, who spent all those years as defensive coordinator in East Lansing.
I like these matchups where you have, you know, teams from different conferences that have really good years facing off. You know, it's stuff you don't get to see all the time. I like it.
And you see the news where Keaton Slovis, USC's very experienced, talented quarterback, is going to use the portal and end up at Pitt next year.
A lot of talented quarterbacks who've played a lot of football enter the transfer portal this season.
By far the best drive for West Virginia. Now, can they finish it off? Under center for a rare snap. Daigie hands it off. Mathis got hit and driven backwards. Got nothing. Boye Mafe, man, is he playing a heck of a first half.
He is everywhere. I mean, he is no doubt an NFL player. He's a guy that's got quickness and power. Watch him shed that block and get right into the play. I mean, he just tossed a lineman and made that play. 265 pounds, 6'4", great quickness, great speed.
Just made it official yesterday that he'll enter the NFL draft. This will be his final game with the Gophers. Another handoff. Mathis didn't get there.
Nope.
On 3rd and goal, this time Gibbons and company were there. It's 4th down, and now what does West Virginia do?
It's a bowl game. They go.
I think you're right. They may not be able to run the ball, though. They're having a hard time doing that here inside the 5. Is that Tyler Nubin who's down on the field? I think it is.
For an injured player.
So Nubin is down. And hopefully Tyler's okay. We'll be back to Phoenix, where it's going to be 4th and goal right after this.
This past season, the Istanbul chairman.
Well, Tyler Nubin did get up and walk off the field, goes into the injury tent. So hopefully that's good news for a guy who Minnesota said was their most improved player this year. Tyler Nubin, important part of their defense. Before we have the 4th and goal play, the night we've been counting down to December 31st, Friday, the college football playoff semifinals. The #1 seed, the Alabama Crimson Tide, against the first group of 5 team to make it to the playoffs. Cincinnati, Michigan, Georgia will follow around 7:30 Eastern Friday on the app. Lots of different ways to watch, but most especially right here on ESPN.
Can't wait.
Should be fascinating. Two great matchups. Now 4th and goal. West Virginia's run the ball 3 times in a row, and they have not been able to punch it in. Mathis in the backfield.
Not a lot of room to throw it down here.
And they are tightly bunched with an extra offensive lineman in there as well. And they are going to fake it. Dagey rolling out, trying to find somewhere to go with the ball. He'll run it, and he gets there. Touchdown. Jared Dagey just bought as much time as he could, finally ran out of time and thought the only chance I have is trying to get to that pylon.
He really didn't want to run that. He was really waiting to try and get that toss into the end zone. Right here he says, you know what? I got no choice. And who says he can't run? Great awareness to stick the ball inside the pylon without going out of bounds.
So now West Virginia, in an unusual formation, at least at the start, is lining up to go for it. And they'll throw it toward the end zone. Knocked away, incomplete. Jordan Howden ended up doing a nice job to knock that ball away. The very unusual formation did not work.
Yeah, and that's putting a little bit too much pressure on Dagey. He's not a scrambler. He's not a guy who's at his best throwing on the move. But he did a really good job of getting this ball at least back into the area where Ford Wheaton had a chance at it. Really good play by Howden.
So we've seen a 380-pound offensive lineman running in for a touchdown. We've seen a fake extra point for a 2-point conversion. And now we see that unusual formation for the 2-point try that didn't work. But West Virginia is on the board. 8-6 is the score with 8:48 to go here in the first half from Phoenix. Neil Brown's not all that happy about the way that last play went. The head coach of the Mountaineers in his 3rd year. He does, though, Rod, have to be pleased with the way his offense performed on that last drive. First quarter, West Virginia's offense was just totally shut down. They came to life.
Yeah, and he's got to be happy with his defense because his defense made 2 big stops in the red zone, or Minnesota would have a couple more touchdowns by now. So he's got to feel good about West Virginia being where they are right now.
Yeah, the fun part about these bowl games, to me, one of the main reasons why they can be so fun is when you see different stuff, different players, chance to do some different. We've seen a lot of that already, but you also want to have a competitive game. Early on, it wasn't looking like it was going to be all that competitive. The Gophers were just dominating, but West Virginia's offense on the board now. And you're right, the missed field goal, then the turnover forced inside the 5. Maybe when we look back on it, will have saved the Mountaineers' chances. Now they kick it off out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So that's not great.
Still nothing for Chris Ottman-Bell from Minnesota. A really talented wide receiver who, by the way, announced he's coming back in 2022 for Minnesota. He and Tanner Morgan will keep their dynamic duo going.
Most of the offense will be back other than those guys up front. They got to find a way to replace some great offensive linemen, but a lot of experience will return on offense. New center in for this series, Nathan Bowe. Play fake. Tanner Morgan will step up and start to run. He's a little bit more of a scrambler than Dagey, and he made something happen there on first down.
And he had a smart decision there. He was looking to do the run pass option and fake the run, read the linebacker, and he was about to throw it, and he looked up and there was a guy, the linebacker, standing right there. Had he thrown that, that would have been a pick 6.
Kai Thomas in the backfield for 2nd and 6. Let's see if they try to get Chris Ottman-Bell the ball, number 7.
He's got a couple guys leaning his way.
Instead, they hand it off, and West Virginia was there. A penalty flag thrown. Thomas strung the play out long enough to actually get a yard, but this one may be coming backwards. By the way, way, we mentioned how John Michael Schmitz was not in there. He went back into the locker room.
One of those really talented offensive linemen we've talked about that will continue playing in the NFL.
Let's go down to Stormy on the sideline.
John Michael Schmitz on that last offensive drive came over to the sideline and was getting a little bit of work done on his left ankle. Ultimately ended up going back to the locker room, and obviously he's not out there now. And some good news, though, on the Minnesota sideline for Tyler Nubin. Just saw him running up and down the sideline trying to work out whatever was going on with him.
Okay, good updates there. And Nathan Bowe's in at center now. He's played a lot of football for the Gophers. That pass incomplete. Daniel Jackson hit his hands, although there was good coverage there. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, that's one he'll tell you that he has to have. A good throw, had it, just couldn't hang on to it. And again, who are the other receivers who will step up when Ottman Bell isn't getting free? You know, he's coming out to the right side here. Every time he lines up, he's got usually one guy in front of him and a second guy leaning his way. Right now you see 2 defenders leaning his way.
The West Virginia defense has a good opportunity here to get a stop on 3rd and long. Minnesota hands the ball off. So they're really playing. I don't want to say they weren't playing for the first down there, but Irving needed 16 yards. He didn't get close.
Now, how about that tackle by Mahone? If you want to see a wrap up, a good tackle, wrap up and not just try to block a guy down, watch the way he tackles here. Arms around him, pull, completely wraps him up and takes him down. That is textbook.
Sean Mahone, who's playing his final game with West Virginia, has been a great Mountaineer. He's played more games than anyone else in the history of West Virginia football.
That's crazy.
Sam James back to receive this punt, and it's a pretty short punt. That one landed right near the sideline, but I guess it didn't go out of bounds, stayed in. So that helps the Gophers a little bit with the field position. But their defense is going to have to come back on the field. It's 8-6, kind of a baseball score here from Phoenix.
ESPN, home of the College Football Playoff Semifinals. Friday, December 31st on ESPN.
So we're here late night Tuesday, counting down to Friday and those college football playoff semifinal games. Minnesota fans in big numbers here in the Valley of the Sun. Their Golden Gophers with an 8-6. I said it was a baseball. I mean, it's a high scoring baseball game, but it is a sort of a strange looking score. Second quarter with West Virginia's defense coming up with the stop. Mountaineers get the ball back. Mathis gets the carry. Tony Mathis looks good. And that carry gets, what, 7, maybe close to 8 yards. But I am impressed so far by the sophomore from Orlando.
Agreed. Take some pressure off of Dagey. You know, they only had 23 yards rushing prior to that run, now 30. And when they rush for more than 100 yards, they win. Minnesota wants to keep them under 100 because they're 0-6 when that happens.
Play fake, and that one into traffic, and a great catch by Sam James. Somehow hung on to the football and took a huge hit.
He had no choice but to catch that one. Terrific throw by Dagey, and here comes a little tempo. Try to catch Minnesota unprepared.
Now they're going to stop play.
Made a first down. That play is under further review.
So they're going to take a look and make sure he did make the catch.
You know, you lose a little bit of a competitive edge right there when you're going hurry up. You don't get to go forward with that because of the measurement.
Oh, and it could be that they're not reviewing the catch. It could be that they're reviewing for targeting.
Huh.
With Jordan Howden, who put the hit on there.
Well, he's not a defenseless player, so it has to be an issue of the hitting with the crown of the helmet. He's not defenseless. Well, he is defenseless there. He's reaching out, can't protect himself. I take that back. It could be either one, but I couldn't tell from that angle if he hit him in the head with forcible contact.
I don't think that he did, personally.
I think maybe it was under the shoulder. So you need to have forcible contact to the head and neck area, and you need a launch or a gathering if it's a defenseless player. And I don't think there was forcible contact to the head from the view that we had.
I don't think so either.
After further review, there was no targeting on the play. First down.
But I get why they stopped it. They want to check these things. It's all about safety and the like. And that time, Howden, clean play.
He's made some big plays already in this game.
Well, we knew we had two good defenses that have been kind of under the radar, but I'd be lying if I told you I thought the score would be 8-6 halfway through the second.
Clock will wind now. Back to football. 1st and 10 Mountaineers. Dagey hands it off to Mathis, who made a couple Gophers miss, then takes a hit as he goes down. Lost a yard or so.
Still seeing guys slip on this turf.
Yeah, and I mean, early in the game, I thought, well, they had the roof open for the pregame ceremonies. It was raining a little bit. Maybe that was the issue. But when you create a football field from essentially nothing, could be a little bit more of that. Because you're right, we've seen a lot of that. Long throw to make and incomplete.
Dagey keeps staring into what looks like a two deep coverage, two safeties playing deep. And then occasionally you have the corners who are also dropping deep in kind of a quarters look where they split 1/4 of the field. So the deep ball is a challenge. And so that's a problem for them right now.
Minnesota was allowed to substitute. They got some new personnel on the field, showing some pressure on 3rd and 11, but they rush only 3. Dagey, even with that 3-man rush, is going to be sacked.
Yeah, can't happen.
He's going down.
Cannot happen. You got a 3-man rush and you're blocking with 6. Can't happen.
That's the 3rd sack already for the Gophers. Asezi Otomewo was the first guy who got there, got the ankles of Dagey, and then he got some help.
The problem here for West Virginia is that they see all these guys showing blitz, and so they get confused on who's picking up whomever. And then you have a nice move by Otomewo, who just, goes from right to left, and they didn't pick him up either. But 3 guys rushing with 6 blocking. Come on, Slim.
That was Zach Frazier, who's an All-American center. I mean, he's one of West Virginia's best players. Penalty flag thrown right as that ball was snapped. The punt's going to roll out of bounds inside the Gophers' 35-yard line. We'll see what the penalty is. Well, it's against West Virginia.
Illegal formation on the offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. The 5-yard penalty will be added on from the end of the kick. Receiving team keeps the ball. First down.
Okay. So Minnesota will have it. And again, with good field position for their offense when we come back to the Valley of the Sun. Phoenix, Arizona. Well, West Virginia's defense back on the field. Their outstanding young defensive coordinator, Jordan Leslie. Sounds strange to say this, Rod, but he's still here tonight.
I know. He's having a little tough night. You saw the big side there. He's on baby alert. His wife is due January 4th, and they know the baby could come early. He's got his cell phone, and he told us, hey, if that phone rings, I'm out of here.
He's never had a game where he's had his cell phone on him during the game, on the sidelines, handoff Minnesota on first down. Good defense from Jordan Leslie's group. But he told us, you may see me actually pick up the phone and answer the phone on the sideline during the game. And if it's the call that we could get, I'm out.
He's out of there.
It'll be their 3rd, and Jordan says final child born here any day now. A really good job in Morgantown.
Oh, yeah.
The pieces were not really in place when this staff took over to have an outstanding defense. Last year they were the best Power 5 defense statistically in all of college football.
Yeah. Well, you can build it faster the right way when you get a little help with the portal.
Big hole here, and off to the races. Kai Thomas all the way down inside the 10. The big guy of the combo of freshman running back showed off some real speed.
Yeah, one cut and go. The right side of his line. Look at the big cutback lane they give him. They just pushed the defense right where they wanted to go. Thomas read it perfectly, and then great closing speed by Mahone on the outside to keep Thomas from getting to the end zone. But that right side of the line just pushed the West Virginia guys right to the right side where they wanted to go, and a huge lane opened up.
That's 50 yards for Kai Thomas, and now 1st and goal for the Gophers with that big offensive line. Bucky Irving in the backfield, and he'll make a cut, gets down to the 5, tackled right around that 5-yard line.
You know, when that offensive line gets a hold of you, you're not getting away from it. And this is, again, we mentioned it before, an undersized linebacking group and not the biggest defensive line. Austin's 250. Mesidor is 270. And Jefferson, when he's in there, he's 295. But you're talking about, what does Stormy say? An average of, what, 330 or so?
Yeah. They are shuffling along that line with their starting center out. Right now, Connor Olson has moved over to play center. Thomas in the game. Touchdown, Minnesota. After the 50-yard run, he took the next play off, caught his breath, comes right back in and punches it in.
I think there were 2 or 3 offensive linemen standing in the end zone with Thomas at the end of the play. Watch them keep their feet, just pushing guys out of the way. My goodness. That's a dominant offensive line, and you got a good back like Thomas behind him, who's only a freshman. Wow.
Yeah, really good job, Connor Olson, Nathan Bowe, among others up front. Extra point is up. They actually kicked it this time, and good. 15-6. All right, now if it's a baseball score, it's a pretty high-scoring game.
Yeah, you got a couple of grand slams in there, a 3-run jack somewhere.
15-6 for PJ Fleck's team with 2:14 to go in quarter number 2. And we'll be back in 10 seconds after a message from Ally.
However your team completes that unbelievable game-changing touchdown, for everything we do, we're all better off with an Ally. Back to you.
Well, Minnesota's offense, they have moved the ball in this first half.
Yep.
Missed field goal, turnover inside the 5 has kept West Virginia close in this game, but now the second rushing touchdown. First it was the offensive lineman Fa'alele who pushed it in. This time Kai Thomas. The defensive line for PJ Fleck's team, 3 sacks in the first half.
And PJ Fleck believes in power football and taking deep shots. You know, you would think a former wide receiver would be more into the spread it out, throw it around, but that's not him. And, you know, people say he's a little different. He says he's different. He says, you know, I'm not for everyone, but I'll say this about him. He is authentic. He is himself. You know, he's incredibly optimistic, and you can't be upset about that. He's great at that. He's just being himself.
This is the end of year 5 for PJ at Minnesota. He believes the program is exactly where it needs to be. He's excited about 2022. Kirk Shiraka coming back to be the offensive coordinator. The best year under PJ Fleck, one of the best years in Minnesota football history, was 2019 when Kirk was the coordinator.
He's got his quarterback coming back, his top wide receiver returning next year.
One thing that I appreciate about PJ Fleck and Neil Brown, both of these coaches, the pass for the Mountaineers outside the 30. We'll see if West Virginia can use the 2-minute offense here and try to get closer before halftime. These two coaches are willing to adjust to their players.
Yep.
Willing to adjust to the personnel they have. Jared Dagey will throw it right along that sideline, and the catch made by Bryce Ford Wheaton for a West Virginia first down.
You talk about adjusting. Dagey has had to adjust in this game. He is a pocket passer who's had to make most of his plays on the move because he's not safe in the pocket. He's been knocked around a lot. What, 3 sacks already? A few hits.
He is 10 for 15, but only 73 yards. Little pump fake there, and another short throw, this time to Mathis. Really has great balance. He's tough to bring down. He gets to the 45, gain of 5.
Yeah, he's He's done a good job throwing the ball tonight. 11 of 16 now. But that Minnesota defense is forcing him to be patient. They're not letting him have anything deep. You see a couple of safeties starting to wander back about 15 yards or so. Deep ball, it's hard to get in there.
Handoff, Mathis, and Tony Mathis gets tackled a yard short. West Virginia has one timeout. The clock is definitely a factor here nearing the end of half number one. And they're going to push it forward and get the first down.
Good to see them get under center for those short yardage situations.
Yeah. And I appreciate that too. A spread team that does practice some under center snaps. Some teams just out and out don't do it. Dagey will throw the ball away. And man, he needed to put a little more mustard on that one.
Yeah, Coney Durr almost had that. He thought, let me see if I can be a receiver and keep my feet in bounds when I get this.
I mean, you got to chuck that thing about 20 yards farther if you're throwing it away.
Yeah, give us the arm strength. Put it in the second row.
That was close.
Too close for comfort.
So 2nd and 10 does stop the clock. Minute 11 to go.
Can they get their slot receivers on the safeties? That's where the money can be made.
This time the 4-man rush, who was picked up nicely. The completion across the middle and a fumble. The ball's loose. It's still loose, and West Virginia came up with it. It was the running back Tony Mathis down the field who somehow recovered it after Reese Smith had the ball stripped.
Yeah, watch the end of this. Watch Mathis, the hustle to come down here and get involved, trailing the play. I think the understudy has been playing like a star tonight for West Virginia.
He has. He's played well. That was a big play. Keeps West Virginia's hope for points alive.
This is a big hustle play. It's a running back who was 10, 15 yards away. He trails the play because you never know what's going to happen. And because he hustled, he's able to recover that.
West Virginia was called for a procedure penalty, and now they'll use a timeout to keep that clock at 53 seconds with first down coming up. Coming up on the Smile Direct Club halftime report, Kevin Connors, Jesse Palmer with highlights from today's bowl games, breaking down Michigan, their chances against Georgia, and of course the big news in the football world today. We are all going to miss the great John Madden.
So very sad. You know, growing up in Oakland, the Oakland Raiders were Al Davis and John Madden. You know, you could change quarterbacks from Darryl LaMonica to Kenny Stabler to Jim Plunkett, but it was John Madden and Al Davis. Even when Madden had moved on to television, you know, he was still a part of the Raiders.
Well, you could make a good argument that nobody impacted the game in more ways over all the facets of his career in the history of pro football than John Madden.
I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. And imagine this, you know, you've got a number of generations who did not see him coach, who grew up with him because of his video game.
Yeah, made new football fans all over the world. Dagey, first down, throws short, and that pass caught again by Smith, who steps out of bounds to stop the clock. Well, the Mountaineers at minimum want to be in position to get 3 points, but 48 seconds.
Yeah, they're probably a little bit out of range right now. It would be about a 52, 53 yarder.
Yeah, Neil Brown told us he really likes to kick from 50 in. Pressure comes. Dagey takes a hit, throws it up, and it is incomplete. Knocked away at the last minute. That's Jordan Howden. He has been a star.
Yeah, and that's as good a play as you'll see, you know, from a safety coming over. I mean, he goes to the highest point But watch the hit again affecting the quarterback. Now watch him get in there with that left hand at the highest point to knock that ball out. That is fantastic.
Braylon Oliver got the hit on, but Howden just an outstanding play to rip that away from Reese Smith. So it's 3rd down now and 11. More pressure coming. Dagey gets hit as he throws this time, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Michael Dixon. The pressure forced that one, a turnover for West Virginia.
Yeah, just a matter of time. Your quarterback can't keep getting hit that much without it affecting some throws. And this is another big hit. The blitz right up the middle. They hit home, and that's the safety blitz from Oliver. Well, actually the will linebacker. He plays in kind of a hybrid role for them, coming inside. But they brought 7. They couldn't block him. And I just worry about Dagey for the second half. I mean, he's been beaten up in this first half.
And instead of a chance for points, Minnesota's defense comes up with the turnover.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you'd like for your quarterback to take care of the football in that situation, to give you a chance. The middle of the field is dark and full of terrors, and a veteran quarterback knows that. You got to be careful with it. And when you're getting that kind of pressure and getting knocked around, got to get rid of the football, got to get rid of it faster, and got to protect it.
12th interception all told for Dagey on the season. Braylon Oliver, who put the pressure on 2 straight plays, was the Gophers player who was down. Oliver does get up.
You know, we talked about Dagey early on, Flynn, sort of seeking some redemption from his bowl game last year, where he had 3 turnovers, a couple of picks and a fumble, was benched in the second half. So we know he was looking for a better game. This first half has been a little challenging because West Virginia hasn't been able to protect him.
Well, the Gophers are just going to take a knee and be happy getting the ball to start the second half with a 15-6 lead at halftime here in Phoenix. They'll let the final 30 seconds or so tick off the clocks. The players have to run down into the baseball dugouts and through the tunnel to get to the locker rooms, so it might take a little longer than usual.
They can touch all the bases where they used to be on their way in, right? Touch it for luck.
So there they go to regroup in the locker rooms at halftime. Halftime score 15-6. Kevin Connors and Jesse Palmer coming up after this short break.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Mania.
And you're watching the Guaranteed Rate Bowl on ESPN. The view from the parachuters coming into Chase Field in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, where West Virginia out of the Big 12 matched up with Minnesota out of the Big 10. The Golden Gophers with a 15-6 lead as we start the third quarter. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni, great to have you back with us, Rod. I thought Minnesota played well, basically in all aspects, but particularly along the lines, defensive and offensive lines in that first half.
I think that's absolutely right. When you think about the way they affected the quarterback, Dagey, I mean, they really got after him just tremendously, you know, knocking him around and making things difficult for them. And then, you know, they ran the ball as they needed. But really, it all started with what their defensive line did and their linebackers. And I think if you're West Virginia, particularly if you're Dagey, you're going to say, look, I can't get better protection. I got to get rid of the football. Self-preservation, he's got to get the ball out of there faster for West Virginia to have a shot. You see the big pick right before the end of the half that kept them from getting points. But it was that offensive line. We talked about it, maybe the best in college football, certainly the biggest. And Thomas took advantage of some great blocks. He had a 50-yard run and finish it off with a touchdown. But that offensive line has been putting on a show. We even had an offensive lineman score a touchdown.
Yeah, we didn't even show you Daniel Faalele's rushing touchdown. 7 yards per carry with a couple touchdowns for PJ Fleck's team, and the 4 tackles for loss, the 3 sacks, and all kinds of hits against Dagey, the West Virginia quarterback.
Yeah, that should have been the #1 topic of discussion in the locker room for West Virginia. How do you protect Dagey? And if you're Dagey, you're just saying to yourself, look, no matter what's called, I'm getting the ball out, getting it out faster.
So remember, Minnesota deferred after winning the toss, so they are going to get the ball here to start the second half. looking for their 9th win of the year. PJ Fleck, who's undefeated as the Minnesota head coach in bowl games,
could easily be looking for their 10th win, but for the inexplicable loss to Bowling Green.
Agonizing loss against one of their rivals, Iowa.
Yep.
PJ Fleck still has not beaten Iowa. That'll be a big goal, I would imagine, for 2022.
You know, a lot of people thought he was a flash in the pan. Western Michigan got things done, came over to Minnesota. But look, he's been here 5 years, and he's been winning. At some point, you just quit saying flash in the pan and recognize he's a good coach. He knows what he's doing.
Yep. Well, a penalty flag was thrown.
Kicking team number 40.
How often do you see a delay of game on a kickoff to start the second half? On any kickoff, for that matter. A delay of game.
Bizarre.
That's hard to explain. So West Virginia is going to have to do it again from 5 yards back. And maybe a chance for the Minnesota special teams to give the offense some field position. Minnesota's offense, you know, the total yardage doesn't look all that impressive. Part of that is because they played with short fields most of the first half.
That's right. And, you know, they made good progress on those short fields, getting into the red zone on their first 2 possessions, but then stalling out with a sack and missing a field goal and then turning it over with a fumble.
We'll see if they can get more good starting field position here as the third quarter now will get underway. Kind of a line drive squib kind of kick, scooped up around the 15, and it is returnable out to the 25 and close to the 30. Let's go down on the field to Stormy.
Well, Dave, I asked West Virginia head coach Neil Brown what the biggest challenge has been for his offense there in the first half and how do they adjust. And he said Minnesota's defense has come out and pressured us a lot more than we expected them to. They're mixing things up a lot more. And so we just need to go out there and be us. He said his message to his group was to compete. There have been a lot of comebacks in these bowl games, and he thinks that his group is certainly capable of that. But first and foremost, they have to be better on first downs. The only times they've been able to sustain drives is when they were good on first down.
Okay, good stuff, Stormy, from the head coach, Neil Brown. Minnesota ball, and they will hand the ball off. First play of the third quarter. Another big play on the ground. This time Irving, who goes down and can't believe it, into West Virginia territory, but he's thinking that should have been a bigger run and maybe all the way.
And watch the double team between 70 and 65 creating that lane, and then the great blocking by the receivers on the edge to give Irving choices, and when he cuts it, he does not waste any time.
What an incredible hustle play, by the way, by Akeem Mesidor, the defensive lineman, who might have saved a touchdown coming from the other side of the field.
No doubt.
That was pretty impressive by Mesidor, but the big run, immediately the Gophers into West Virginia territory, 1st and 10. And they'll pitch it back, a little flea flicker. Morgan, though, is pressured, and he's going to go down. So that time, the trick plays, which have worked for Minnesota in this game, did not work. It's a negative play big time.
Yeah, great coverage downfield by West Virginia. They were not fooled. Their safeties stayed back. Morgan had no place to go with it. Nowhere to go.
And Jackie Matthews got there to make the sack.
You'd like to have Tanner Morgan throw that ball away so you don't take a loss there, but he didn't feel he had time to.
That was a 10-yard loss. 2nd and 20. Big play for the West Virginia defense. Morgan, play fake, throws high, knocked away. And that time, Chris Autman-Bell, who's not really been involved on offense, kind of had to play defense.
Yeah, they forced that. He was not open. I mean, there were 3 guys around him. He's drawing a lot of attention. And you're right, he had to be a defensive back on that play. I mean, look at the guys that are paying attention to set play. 3 guys around him.
Kind of makes you wonder. I mean, he hasn't had a catch yet in this game. Whether part of the talk at halftime was, well, we got to get Chris involved.
Absolutely.
First time he's even been targeted, because that did feel like a little bit of a force.
Well, they've been rolling coverage his way all night.
Play clock all the way down, and Minnesota. See, now that they call a timeout.
Nah.
It's already 3rd and 20.
Yeah.
Now you burn a second half timeout to save the 5-yard penalty. I mean, how likely are you going to convert on 3rd and 20 anyway?
I am completely with you.
It's almost like a reflex. Hey, the play clock's winding down. We got to call timeout.
I agree. I think that's right, and it's the wrong thing to do. I mean, go ahead and take the 5-yard penalty. What's the difference, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 25?
Yeah, to me, the timeout's more valuable.
Yeah. I mean, how many plays do you have that can get you 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 25?
Throw it up and hope for a penalty. That might be one. All right, so the timeout for the Gophers. Fans, you can join us virtually for the College Football Playoff All-Access Experience, featuring exclusive content, games, and daily prize drops. Register today at ESPN.com/CFP All Access. Referee getting on the microphone to make sure the timeout situation is correct on the big scoreboard here inside this ballpark, which is a fine home for a college football bowl game.
This works. I wasn't sure what it would look like, but this works.
It works. Good atmosphere here tonight. 3rd and 20. Tight end came in motion and slipped. And they hand the ball off on 3rd and 20, and the running back Kai Thomas slips. So all that, and West Virginia's defense comes up with the stop. They played the trick play beautifully, and that set the whole sequence up.
That's right. They've used their speed and quickness to get to the edge when it looked like with the first play of this drive that they were going to be in trouble because of the big run by Thomas, but they bounced right back. And they get a stop.
And speaking of that big play, I think we should circle that play by Akeem Mesidor.
Yeah.
If West Virginia can somehow come back in this game, he may have saved the game for him with that tackle. High punt, no fair catch signal. Maybe there should have been. James goes down. So good coverage by the Minnesota special teams. The West Virginia offense, can they protect their quarterback? We'll find out right after this. Well, if you come to Phoenix, particularly around holiday time, the Botanical Gardens, really cool place to visit. I recommend it.
I should have asked you about that this morning. I could have gone over.
It's a little late now.
Yeah.
3rd quarter, 15-6. West Virginia's offense on the field for the first time in the second half. I should have spoken up. They have to overcome a trend. They did not get to 200 yards in the first half. When they've won this year, they have. When they've lost, they haven't.
Well, the main thing, Mathis needs to touch the ball more, and let's see if they protect the quarterback better.
And at the moment, Justin Johnson, the true freshman, is in at running back, and he gets the carry on 1st down for a nice gain. Kid from St. Louis, this will be his biggest chance to play for West Virginia so far in his young career. Another young player they're very high on.
Yeah, he had a lot of offers coming out of high school. Cal, Michigan State, Minnesota, Washington State.
Straight ahead, Johnson gets real close, and I think he got the 1st down. So that's interesting because Tony Mathis did a lot of good things in the first half, but at least at the moment they're giving Justin Johnson a chance.
Yeah, I hope that's what it is. I hope there's nothing going on with Mathis that will keep him from coming back.
I see him on the sideline with his helmet on. Daigie, plenty of time, throws, and that one is knocked away at the last moment. Took a long time to get to Sean Ryan, and Justin Wally was there.
He's holding that ball too long. I mean, that when he has to come off of his primary faster than that and get rid of this ball. He's got plenty of time now. You see, he finally looks over there, and this ball, it's not the strongest arm. You see that ball's on the inside. It's on the inside so the defensive back can make a play. It's got to be outside. It's got to come out faster.
Daigie looked right, now back left, and again, holding on to the ball, being pursued. He will throw, incomplete. Got tripped up right as he released the ball.
Tell you one thing. He is a competitor. He is a fighter. He's been knocked around, and he gets right back up, and he goes right back at it. Look at the back of his jersey. I mean, front side's clean, back side is chalky and dirty.
He has taken a lot of hits already tonight. And I think you're right. It's an important point. It's not all on the offensive line. There have been a few times where he has held on to it for way too long. 3rd and long here. Dagey holds on to it again and will go down. Another sack for the Gophers defense.
I don't think he recognized that there was a blitz that time, because if he had known the blitz was coming, he would have gotten rid of the ball sooner. Because it was a delayed blitz, I think he missed it, and he assumed it was simply a forward. Watch the left side. And you're going to have another guy coming in from out of the frame, and I don't think this gets picked up. Here comes the other one. So now it's been a change. I don't think he saw that.
And you got to give the Minnesota secondary a lot of credit here, because at least in the eyes of Jared Dagey, he doesn't have anywhere to go with the football on a lot of these plays.
That's right.
Booming punt this time, and a fair catch all the way back at the 30. So a good punt from Tyler Sumter. Minnesota gets the ball back. Well, New Year's Day, how about the lineup of bowl games we have for you? And that graphic isn't even big enough to include what I think is going to be a really good game. You and I will be in Tampa for the Outback Bowl for Penn State and Arkansas, but Oklahoma State and Notre Dame here in town at the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. You got Utah, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. How good will that be? And then Baylor, Ole Miss at night, 8:45 Eastern in New Orleans at the Sugar Bowl.
I'm looking forward to those. I wish that we could have all players eligible playing those games. If I made you commissioner of college football, how would you address it?
Well, I mean, I think one thing we could do now in this era of the NIL and sort of the changing way that we allow players to take advantage of their status in a world that generates a lot of revenue for a lot of folks is maybe there could be some bowl incentives. Yeah. I mean, why, if you're a bowl game and you wanted to incent some players, all the players, to be out there on the field, why couldn't we encourage that to happen?
Yeah, I think you're right. With name, image, and likeness, you know, you can partner with players and allow them to promote their brand in connection with the bowl. And, you know, some guys might be tempted by an appearance fee, who are worthy of an appearance fee. You know, and I also think that if you expanded the playoffs, that would probably help too.
Handoff on 2nd down, and a nice bounce run by Thomas. Kai Thomas gets upended, but that'll be another Minnesota 1st down on the ground.
He got to the edge. West Virginia's defense got a little caught up inside. Lance Dixon, number 5 in particular, gets caught up inside, and so Thomas makes him pay for it. When you are responsible for the outside, trust your teammates, and you stay outside and let them stay inside.
Plus, when Daniel Faalele is out there, run behind that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a human wall. What a game he's having.
You know, I got to believe at times you can't see the running back behind him.
Like all times. Lots of the NFL scouts who are here, we were told, are here specifically to watch him and his line mates up front for Minnesota. I think that's the center of attention in the scouting world tonight.
Well, and, you know, he's not just a big guy. You know, if he were just a big guy, the scouts wouldn't be that interested. But when you put on the tape and you watch him, he moves. He's got good feet. He moves. And he doesn't just lean on guys. He's got power. He uses his strength and his size. So I think those are the things that intrigue people, because there aren't many folks 6'9" and 380 pounds walking around on the planet.
I mean, even at the NFL level, the only guy I can think of just off the top of my head, Trent Brown, is
right.
And he's close to that big. I don't think he's even quite that big, but close. Play clock winding down again. Minnesota just got it snapped, and good thing they did. The handoff to Irving. Irving into West Virginia territory inside the 40.
Yeah, and West Virginia has had trouble this series securing the edge. And when you don't take care of the edge of your defense, good running backs will bounce it and make you pay. Good blocking by the Minnesota receivers to knock out the safety who came down and was responsible for the edge. But you gotta have an edge.
And Faalele is he's just dominating right now. You sort of feel for Mesidor and Jordan Jefferson, some of the others who are trying to stand up to the big man. This time, a run blitz. Jackie Matthews got in there and upends Irving for a loss of a yard.
West Virginia's defense has certainly throughout the game been better, closer to the end zone. Maybe they will be bend but don't break here, but they need to come up with a play here. Going down another score would be a real problem because their offense hasn't shown an awful lot tonight.
Second and long. Morgan falls down, just out and out tripped. Now West Virginia is going to get credit. Dante Stills, maybe he's the guy who'll get credit for a sack.
Closest one.
Maybe they'll just say he's down, but Tanner Morgan goes down. That's a loss.
Well, this brings up a 3rd and forever, and I think you have to think in terms of getting enough to have a field goal attempt at the very least if you're PJ Fleck.
Loss of 7. They need to get some yardage here to have a chance to put some points on the board. Derek LeCaptain in the backfield. Morgan's going to throw to him short. He's got some room and will get the sack yardage back plus a few down close to the 30, and that will give the Gophers a better chance here if they want to try a field goal. We'll see.
Yeah, you know, you actually could even contemplate going for it here.
You're right, but they are going to send the field goal unit out.
You know, a lot of coaches have moved to the analytics, you know, 4th down and going for it, 4th and 4, 4th and 5. There's been some pushback lately with other coaches saying, look, you know, you just can't rely on the book. You got to have some experience and some feel involved.
Trickett with the long try, and this one is good. Just a low line drive kick, but he got it through. Close to his long for the year. That one was 49 yards.
Pretty big save on that 3rd down, right? To get him in range.
Got it within range, and Matthew Trickett kicked it through.
Little history at West Virginia. Garrett Ford Sr. is the grandfather of Bryce Ford Wheaton. Was a West Virginia running back in the mid-60s. He was the first black running back at West Virginia to rush for 1,000 yards. His uncle, Garrett Ford Jr., also played at West Virginia. And here's Bryce Ford Wheaton at West Virginia now. All in the family, all having a major impact at West Virginia.
They have a lot of players with family ties to the program. It was a very loyal program with great history. Some work to do tonight here in Arizona, and the high kickoff returned, and maybe that wasn't a great decision. The Mountaineers offense will come back on the field. There is Bryce Ford Wheaton, very good receiver.
Really, you think about what his grandfather did at West Virginia in the middle of the 60s. That's in the middle of the civil rights movement with oh so much going on. And I can only imagine the stories that he's shared with his grandson about his days at West Virginia and just the 1960s civil rights movement.
Yeah, he ended up, his granddad did, a longtime administrator in the athletics department as well. You got the Stills family along the defensive line with their great West Virginia history. Dagey in the pocket will throw, and that one is completed, caught right on top of the turf by Reese Smith, who's been involved quite a bit in this game.
Great job of coming back to the ball because it looked like for a moment that it might get picked off by Justice Harris.
Yeah, Dagey didn't put a whole lot of zip on that throw. Now are they going to stop and take a look?
Running on the field is a completed pass. That play is under further review.
All right, what do we think? I think he caught it.
If hands are underneath the ball, then it's hard to overturn that. And it looks to me like his hands are underneath the ball. And remember, you need indisputable video evidence. And I don't see a clear incompletion there. I see hands under the ball. So I think it's hard to overturn that. And if it were you would confirm it, right?
I would.
Yeah.
That's a good catch.
And I've learned not to disagree with you.
I think one thing this ACC crew that we have for this bowl game has done a really good job with replay, and they've been expeditious.
Yeah. It's the way it should be used.
Completed pass, stand.
Okay, so it stands and we move on. Good job. I personally, I've been fairly vocal about this. I just have not been a huge fan about the way they replay, not just college football, in all sports. It just
too disruptive.
We lose some important things when we replay as much as we replay. But if you're gonna do it, and I understand the reasons for doing it, do it the way this crew has done it. Mathis with the carry, and more good running from Tony Mathis.
Well, and I think to your point, sometimes we replay plays that we really don't need to. It's not that compelling or dire of a situation to replay it. And when we get caught in this, every play has to be right.
Quickly to the line, and a little, almost like a screenplay set up for Mathis, who gets the catch and run for 9 more yards.
Yep, little slip screen, slip the back out of the backfield, get a lineman out in front of it. But I think your point's well taken about replay.
Nobody else seems to listen to me when I talk about it, but I appreciate you giving me a little platform. Dagey across the middle, got a lot of zip on that throw. That was well delivered to Sam James.
That might have been his best throw of the night.
Might have been.
Yeah, he's a guy who's taken a lot of beating tonight, and that throw had the most zip on it we've seen since early in the first quarter. This little dig route over the linebackers in front of the safeties.
Whatever you think about Jared Dagey's performance, and it has admittedly been up and down this year, you cannot question his toughness. He's going to take another hit here. Goes down. Tyler Newman, who got hurt in the first half, back in the game with the sack.
2 guys running free up the middle. And you can watch. You're going to see 27 Newman and 55 Mariano Sori-Marin coming in untouched, completely up the middle. Now, you're asking a lot of your running back, Mathis, who really is inexperienced, to recognize and pick up and handle a blitz. But man, your quarterback, he can't keep getting hit like that.
Yeah, as good as Tony Mathis has been in this game tonight, running the ball, catching the ball, I think he has struggled with some of those responsibilities. Smith with another catch, so they get some of that lost yardage back. It's still going to be 3rd and long.
But look, let's give Minnesota credit for disguising their blitz as well. And even when they bring them from depth, they bring them from 7-10 yards off, those guys come screaming in, and so it's been a no contest.
3-man rush this time. Dagey over the top, down the sideline, incomplete, with some contact, trying to hit Bryce Ford Wheaton. Durr with the coverage and no penalty flag.
Well, Coney Durr should clip that and keep it in his tape file, because he does a tremendous job of squeezing the receiver to the sideline. That's exactly what you want to do as a corner, not give him enough room, but squeeze him.
That's 4th and 11. West Virginia's down 18-6. They're going for it. Dagey will throw deep again. Same play, same 2 out there, same result. Durr, back-to-back plays, stymies West Virginia, and the Gophers get the ball back.
You can have great technique. You can have a great turn and be in great position. That just gets you in position to make a play. And Durr makes a play here, back-to-back, really 2 good plays, highest points. Talk about a cornerback who's come into play. Coney Durr just made 2 really good plays.
College football playoff semifinals, 12 different ways to watch with our semifinals megacast, all accessible on the ESPN app. One app, one touch. Plus, you can test your eyesight trying to read all those different options and get prepared for the college football playoff semifinals.
I'm a fan of the Command Center and the All-22.
Lots of different ways to take in what should be 2 terrific games. Minnesota's defense stops West Virginia on 4th down, gets the ball back, and the Mountaineers' run defense trying to swarm to the ball. It's been tough to slow down this Gophers rushing attack. That time they got Irving on the ground. Final couple minutes here of the 3rd quarter. Gophers in control, but still the lead is just 12 points.
Let's see if they sort of recommit to running the ball, control up front.
Handoff Irving. And he gets tackled by Mesidor. It'll be third down. It just feels like Minnesota has dominated this game in so many ways, but they don't even have 300 yards of total offense. I mean, it's not like the West Virginia defense just been blown off the field.
No, I think the West Virginia defense has actually played pretty well. I mean, this is a two-score game. And, look, they've taken Ottman Bell kind of out of the game. He really hasn't had an impact on the game at all.
3rd and 7. Pressure comes up the middle. Morgan throws and his receiver slipped and the ball was intercepted. What a great play on the ball that was. Charles Woods.
And I don't think Woods saw that until the very last second. Hey, you'll see Michael Brown-Stevens slip, but it looked like Woods didn't pick up the ball until the very last second. His eyes are on Michael Brown-Stevens. Then all of a sudden the ball comes into his vision.
Well, that was incredible.
Second. Amazing.
He got tipped up by Brown-Stevens and sort of hung in the air just for a split second, and Woods reached down, almost one-handed it. Now the snap is dropped. That is not Daggy. That's Garrett Green who's in for the first time, and he drops the snap on his first play of this bowl game, and now he's coming out. It's a quick hook.
We thought we'd see him a little bit more tonight. Coaches wanted to get him in the game and get him some reps. He's a Florida guy, kind of under-recruited. Florida State wasn't interested in him, ignored him, even though he's pretty talented.
He is. He's shown some good things this year for the Mountaineers, but when your coach gives you a chance, puts you in the game, and you drop the first snap, it's hard to convince the coach to keep giving you more opportunities. I'm sure he's regretting that. Justin Johnson with the carry. 3rd down and 8. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Mountaineers came up with their second turnover from their defense, and another handoff. Johnson stumbles forward, but he got tackled. That was a nice play by Mariano Sori-Marin. Now it's 4th down. Will West Virginia go for it again?
Do they feel lucky?
I think they'll probably let the quarter come to an end and talk about it.
Yep. I think that's right.
But you're down 18-6. You're going to the 4th quarter. You should go for it.
I think it's more complicated than that for them. They don't want to give Minnesota a short field. I don't know. We'll see.
Go for it. Come on, Neil. We'll find out right after this. We start the 4th quarter here from Phoenix, Arizona, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. The Big Ten's bowl season is underway tonight in Minnesota, trying to carry the flag for the Big Ten with an 18-6 lead over West Virginia. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Buonantony, Neil Brown's team. The offense has just been shut down, and so they took the time to talk about it. And on 4th and 4, they're not going for it from near midfield. They're going to punt the ball back to Minnesota.
I think that makes sense. You give your defense a chance to keep doing what they have been doing to keep you in the game, and maybe you'll find the right formula on offense.
Do you have a fake dialed up here?
Not right now. No one's going to fall for it.
That ball fielded right at the 10. And that's where the Gophers offense will come back on the field. The ground game has been the key for Minnesota's offensive success tonight.
Yeah, not a big surprise because of that big offensive line and what a good job they've done. Thomas broke one, big one for 50-plus yards, and then escorted into the end zone with 2 offensive linemen, and then bring in the quicker scat back and Irving, and he takes advantage of getting to the edge. But the best part of the night, Faalele, 380 pounds, getting his first ever collegiate touchdown.
That's the one I wanted to see.
Absolutely.
6'9", 380. going to the NFL after this game. First team all Big Ten right tackle, and he got to carry the ball, and he made it into the end zone. Let's go down to Stormy.
You know, PJ Fleck was asked earlier this week if he had any tricks up his sleeve for the bowl game. He said, if I told you, then they wouldn't be tricks. But he did tell me at halftime with regard to that play with Fa'alele that that's something they have been practicing for the last 3 weeks straight, and they executed it to perfection. He couldn't be happier for the big man to get in.
See, now, to me, that's great. You have extra practices for a bowl game. Make it fun for your players. Reward a senior who's had a great career. It's fun for your fans. It makes the announcers happy. I'm in favor.
The all-important thing.
Thomas on second down, and the ball came out at the end. Yeah, the ball security has not been great for Minnesota. Now, maybe he had already been down.
Well, and that's a point about the touchdown with Fa'alele. He handled the ball perfectly, did not fumble it then, and he was down.
Yeah, he was.
There's no doubt about it on that play. Thomas's right shoulder was already on the ground.
So now it's 3rd and 3. West Virginia, if you're going to punt the ball and not go for it down 18-6, you're leaning on your defense to come up with a play, get the ball back. Tanner Morgan will hand it off straight ahead, and that's going to be a Minnesota first down.
Where did they go? Right back to that offensive line. A double team inside, right behind the big guys. Double team, climb up to the linebacker, just squeeze. See the double team in the middle, and then the big hole opened up on the left side there. Rushmeyer, 65, helping make that happen. Stepping in there as they slide over. Was it Olsen to the center spot? No, I'm sorry, he stepped in for Olsen, who came out of the game.
So both the freshman running backs for Minnesota now tonight are over the 100-yard mark. Pretty impressive how these two young guys, with all the injuries on offense, as soon as I say that, Bucky Irving ran to the wrong side, still took the handoff and still got some positive yards there, but pretty impressive with all the injuries, including to one of their, maybe their best overall player, you would think, coming into the year, how they've developed these two.
What do you do next year when you're Minnesota? Ibrahim comes back, you'll have Potts back, you'll have Williams back, and now you've got two freshmen who've carried the load for you for more than, half, 3/4 of the season. You've got 5 guys who expect to play.
That is a good problem to have, but it could be a problem. Yeah, Mohamed Ibrahim has said he's going to come back and play again.
Look, he had Ohio State on the ropes the way he was playing in that opening week game.
Morgan faked it to Thomas, now throws, and the pass is caught. Now the West Virginia defender was saying no. He pulled the ball out. Ottman-Bell finally has a catch tonight. Minnesota's trying to get to the line quickly before they can stop and take a look. And they're not going to let him. They're going to stop the play.
First catch by Ottman-Bell.
Alonzo Adai was just convinced, the safety for West Virginia, that he helped get that ball out. So we're going to take a break. One quick look before we do. Ooh, I don't know. All right, we're back. They stopped play to review this catch. It was ruled a catch on the field, and the play is going to stand.
Yeah, not enough evidence to overturn it. Remember, you need indisputable video evidence. And even though you might think the ball is loose there, you can't definitively tell because of his hand, so you don't have enough to overturn it.
I could go on another rant about how I wish we had a different standard for replay, but instead, we're just going to move on.
No. What's the standard you'd like?
First down, Minnesota. But the standard I would like is let's get the call right, as opposed to worrying so much about what the call on the field was and giving so much weight to that. How about this? You're the replay official. You get to actually see it in slow motion with different camera angles, unlike the live official on the field. How about you, if we're going to bother to replay, just get it right?
Yeah, but then you're going to have folks complaining that really all you've done is asked a different official to substitute their judgment for the guy on the field.
But don't you think it's a little different when you're watching it on a TV monitor in slow motion with different angles.
Yeah, but if you don't have a standard that you use, then you become susceptible to the argument that you're just being subjective and you don't necessarily see it as clearly as you think.
Straight ahead run for Kai Thomas, who got tripped up. Otherwise, maybe even a bigger gain on the ground for Thomas. Right to midfield. Gophers on the move. And I wouldn't say trying to put this game away with 10.5 minutes to go.
Look, let me say it then.
If they get
a touchdown
into the
drive
end zone,
yeah,
it's going to be tough for the Mountaineers.
I don't think the Minnesota defense is all of a sudden going to fall apart. So West Virginia needs a stop. They need to get the ball back. They certainly can't give up points here. Not a touchdown.
Minnesota's played great defense all game, really all year. Thomas this time strung out. Dante Stills was there to help stuff that play. It's a loss. And so that was 3rd down and 3. Now 4th down for Minnesota. Still in that midfield area. What does P.J. Fleck want to do?
I think this is an area where P.J. would probably go. Now the conservative side would say, look, you're controlling the game. Go ahead and kick it. And don't give West Virginia any life.
So that's what they're going to do.
Think about what could have been for that Minnesota team this year. We talked about the Bowling Green loss. I also think the Illinois loss.
Yeah.
That was one that, Minnesota fans go, oh, come on.
They've had a really good year. Could have been even more special, trying to cap it off with a win. Timeout here in Phoenix. 18-6, Gophers with the lead.
The Guaranteed Rate Bowl is brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. Get cash out of your home with a cash out refi from Guaranteed Rate. Learn more at rate.com.
It's a pretty cool list, isn't it, of some of the more distinguished MVPs in the history of this bowl game.
It's an awesome list.
I mean, it really is impressive. Drew Bledsoe, Ron Dane, Aaron Rodgers, Le'Veon Bell, among many others. I bet you didn't know Drew Bledsoe played so long ago that we had to take black and white photos to document his MVP. I'm hoping that the MVP tonight is a much bigger guy, the biggest MVP in bowl history.
Might be that guy there.
That would be my choice.
Yeah.
He rushed for a touchdown. He's just been destroying West Virginia's defensive line. How cool would that be?
Yeah, leading a rushing attack for more than 200 yards and a touchdown himself. That's pretty impressive.
Now, who knows? Maybe West Virginia is going to come from behind and steal the MVP award and steal the game. But the history of this game has been the Minnesota defense is making it real tough on them.
Absolutely. And you see Falele again. A lot of folks wonder, how did he wind up at Minnesota?
That's an excellent question. Into traffic, knocked away, incomplete.
Well, he had offers from a lot of other places coming out of the IMG Academy, but he liked P.J. Fleck. He felt comfortable with him. He trusted him. And that is the impact that P.J. has on a lot of people. And he says, look, I'm not for everyone, but I click with a lot of people.
That's the guy you want to click with.
Oh, yeah.
3rd and 6. Pressure comes. Dagey dumps it short, and a nice open field tackle. Mathis stopped well short of the first down. Philip Howard came up in support and got Mathis to the ground.
Yeah, this defense is on a string. Everybody doing their job. You got a corner who's supposed to drop off, take away the deeper throw, and then come up and make the tackle on anything short. And it's done perfectly out there by Minnesota's good corner, Philip Howard.
It is a team defense.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to give a lot of credit to the defensive coordinator, Joe Rossi, who I think is one of the more underrated assistants in college football.
Well, when he took over anytime soon.
Yeah, he signed a new extension. What, a 3-year deal for a defensive coordinator?
Yeah.
And he earned it. So the defense comes up with another stop. It's 18-6 with 7:54 to go in Phoenix, Arizona. Back after this. Tons more Bowl Mania tomorrow. 3 games on ESPN and the app. We start at Yankee Stadium. Yankees Diamondbacks played that memorable World Series right here at Chase Field. Maryland, Virginia Tech from the big city. Then Clemson, Iowa State. Down in Orlando, the Cheez-It Bowl, the Valero Alamo Bowl, Oregon and Oklahoma. Top 20 matchup. Pac-12, Big 12 at 9:15 Eastern from San Antonio. Alamo Bowl, a history of dramatic games.
Oh,
great games.
Wild games. Great finishes.
Minnesota has the ball and the lead in the 4th quarter. And Bucky Irving with the carry for the Golden Gophers. I was texting earlier tonight with our friend Mac Brown, who's getting ready for his own bowl game with his North Carolina Tar Heels. Mac was in the broadcast booth with me for an Alamo Bowl several years back. That's one of the great games in the history of college football. TCU Oregon. Oregon was up 31-0.
I remember that game.
And TCU came back in the second half. They were shut out in the first half. They came back down 31-0 and beat Oregon.
It was not a great defensive night.
Just an all-timer, that game. Second down, another handoff, Irving. And with the help of his offensive lineman, pushes very close, stopped about a yard short.
You can see the West Virginia defense getting a little tired here. They into that play. You saw Thomas, who isn't the biggest guy in the world, but dragging defenders a few extra yards. You know, I can't blame them. I mean, they've been out there against a big physical offensive line that, you know, has been leaning on them. And these two backs both have gone over 100 yards. And now this is the point of the game where they're going to grind it. They're going to keep driving the football at you.
As if the regular offensive line isn't enough. An extra offensive lineman in for 3rd down and short. Irving the carry behind that big side of the line with the yard plus about 8 more into West Virginia territory.
Yeah, you know, that's over where Faalele is, and we talk about him a lot, but the guy next to him, Andres, is having a whale of a night himself, 77. And the two of them combined have just been crushing that side of the defense.
Yeah, big time physical football. I mean, Blaze Andrews is a huge dude. Faalele sort of towers over him.
He looks tiny next to him.
Okay, tiny might be going a little far,
well, but you look at them together, you go, wait a minute, this guy is significant. Look at this. From this angle, he looks significantly bigger.
Yes, he does. He's bigger than almost every human on the planet. Irving, nice cut inside. Gophers may not throw the ball again tonight.
Well, they don't have to. If they do, it would be just to get somebody some targets, some catches. You know, Ottman Bell, just the one catch tonight. And he is the legitimate, you know, all Big Ten receiver.
For one, I love a game where we do get to appreciate the unsung heroes in football, the guys who play along the line, who don't get to touch the ball.
Except for tonight.
Except for tonight, Faalele. And maybe that's part of the point from P.J. Fleck is if it takes that to get everybody talking about him, let's do it. Thomas inside the 30 gets tackled. Minnesota first down.
Well, he read that perfectly out of the backfield. Schluter, the left tackle, took his man outside, and Thomas found that crease and got into it. He's also dynamic. I tell you, Minnesota's going to have some issues to address next year because they're going to be overloaded at the running back spot.
Lots of guys to keep happy, but as this season proved, maybe you can never have too many of them. I mean, it's a spot where players can get beat up.
We've seen it become a problem with quarterbacks. Quarterbacks don't stick around when they don't get a chance to have the ball.
Thomas on first down. Gets stopped. Let's go down to Stormy.
Well, Dave and Rod, just to give a little bit added love to the offensive line while we're at it, their fallen soldier center John Michael Schmitz, who's been on the sideline in street clothes and a walking boot on his left ankle throughout this entire half, has just been the biggest support system you could imagine on the sideline, been cheering for them every time that they're down there. And our guy Connor Olson, who stepped in for him at center, we talk about their experience in depth. He had 14 starts at center himself. Everybody on that line can do everything, and they have.
Yes, they have. So hopefully John Michael's going to be okay, still supporting his teammates. Timeout. West Virginia will step aside. 18-6. Gophers trying to put this one away. Well, Big 12 now on ESPN Plus, must-have for Big 12 fans. A couple men's basketball games coming up on Saturday. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, number 6 Kansas hosting TCU. ESPNplus.com/Big12 now, the place to go. The Mountaineers from the Big 12. Only 6 points on the board tonight. They have been shut down by the Minnesota defense. It's the Gophers offense that is on the field. Final 4 minutes plus in this guaranteed rate bowl. 2nd and 9. Irving gets the handoff straight ahead. And West Virginia is going to use their second timeout.
What do you think about Tanner Morgan? You know, he has what, something like 12 school season and game records, but he doesn't get a whole lot of national attention. He'll be a 4-year starter next season. Maybe he'll get more attention next season.
Well, one thing is in 2019 when the Gophers had their special 11-win season, he threw for more than 3,000 yards. He threw for 30 touchdowns. Yeah. This year he threw for 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers were just so modest. And, you know, look, there were lots of reasons why. It wasn't all on Tanner. The wide receiver core was banged up, maybe not quite as dynamic as a couple of years ago. But
and he was struggling and grieving over the loss of his dad. And, you know, as much as he wanted to focus on football, I mean, that's not easy for anyone. So I think there were reasons why his performance was down this year. But he's a guy that's going to be a 4-year starter and own a lot of career records at Minnesota.
He's getting married in the summertime. In fact, Tanner said that he has put off all the work. His fiance has been doing all the work here. On the plane ride back from this game, he said, I'm going to bang out the invitation list. So he's 4 minutes away from that.
Friends don't let friends get married during the fall. It's football season.
Summertime is when the wedding will be.
Smart.
On 3rd down, Morgan keeps it. There goes Tanner Morgan. And he'll go into a slide to get the Minnesota first down, stay in bounds. Huge play to just about put it away after West Virginia used 2 timeouts.
Yeah, this is the only time that he pulled that ball down. But how about making a guy miss? He made Jared Bartlett, you know, totally confused there. He couldn't believe, Bartlett couldn't believe that Morgan threw a fake on him. How about that?
Good timing to talk about Tanner Morgan. He can do that. I mean, he has that ability. He's going to be reunited with the offensive coordinator who led him and that Gophers offense to such a special year. Straight ahead run. Thomas inside the 10. Well, you can tune in on the ESPN app for the Capital One post game immediately following this game. They'll give out an offensive MVP, a defensive MVP, present the trophy to the winning team, and it does look like it's going to be PJ Fleck's Golden Gophers.
It looks like there is a West Virginia player down. I think that's Mahone. I can see the back of his jersey now. Yep, it is Mahone.
What a career he's had. Incredible scholar athlete, an academic All-American. He already, before the season even started, he had already completed his MBA. So he's had his undergrad degree. He's got his MBA. He's played more games than anyone in the history of West Virginia football. And I hope he doesn't have to leave his final game with an injury.
Agreed. You talk about a guy who has taken advantage of the extra eligibility. You know, this is his 6th year, and as you mentioned, started this season already with his MBA. I mean, that's a guy who recognized that he's got an opportunity to get a lot out of this experience academically, and did it.
So it's possible that that's the final play that he will have in his West Virginia career. Not indicative of the kind of career he's had.
Well, I actually felt like the West Virginia defense really played pretty well tonight. They just didn't get a lot of help from the offense because the Minnesota defense was better. And this is just a tired defense right now.
Under 3 minutes. You would think Minnesota would want to just wait and let as much of that clock wind off as possible. So that's what they're going to do. Those offensive linemen have to stay down in that stance for a while.
I don't think PJ wants to get another touchdown here. Hard to tell players not to play hard and go for it, but I think the use of the clock, PJ's trying to let it end without that happening.
Thomas to the 5 and inside the 5 on 2nd down. He'll get a first down for Minnesota. West Virginia now is going to use their final timeout.
Now, see, if I'm West Virginia, I wouldn't call a timeout. I would simply be looking over to the Minnesota sideline and kind of give PJ the word, hey, kneel if you want. We're good with that.
Yeah, once you call that timeout on defense, that's license to me for the offense. Just go ahead and punch it in.
Yeah. Don't call the timeout and let Minnesota go, look, we'll just take it home.
Look at Dante Stills here at the end of a game that's going to be a disappointing result for West Virginia. Still coaching up the young guys. That's pretty cool. Sean Martin, the redshirt freshman. When we're finished, SportsCenter comes up next. Steph Curry going for another NBA first. Latest as we count down to the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the college football playoff semifinals, and very importantly, reaction from all across the football world, the sports world, to the passing of a giant in the history of this game, John Madden.
Yeah. Well, we'll be up watching this. I want to see the reactions, the comments, because there may not have been anyone more beloved in football than John Madden.
What a life. All right, 1st and goal, Minnesota. No more timeouts for West Virginia, and they are going to go into victory formation. So even with that timeout, PJ Fleck is going to kneel down and end this game.
Classy move.
Very.
A lot of coaches would have reacted to that timeout by lining up and running another play or two to try to get another score. But kudos to Minnesota for saying, you know what, enough is enough.
Well, I agree with what you said earlier. It is a season of what ifs for the Gophers.
Yep.
I mean, Bowling Green, there's no excuse for that loss. Illinois, they're a better team than Illinois. They lost that game. Iowa, they had chances against one of their big rivals. Did not get that win.
You can rationalize Iowa and understand that in Ohio State. It was Bowling Green and Illinois that made you go, wait a minute.
But still, it's going to be a 9-win season for the Gophers. Morgan killed another couple seconds, took the knee. Our players of the game brought to you by Capital One. We're giving it to the big guys up front. The run game as a whole, the running backs were excellent, but I'm especially spotlighting the offensive linemen.
Yeah, those guys were phenomenal. I don't know how many times we saw 2 or 3 of those linemen on a double team block and pushing a guy 5 yards down the field into the end zone.
Well, look at that. That was a pretty cool moment right there. Some teammates who've been together for a long time. Their final seconds on a field together. They're going off 4 out of the 5 of them to do other stuff, and maybe all of them at the next level. Certainly most of them.
Kieft, 42, got up limping. The tight end, you see him there. He didn't leave the field. Looked like he was going to leave the field, but he wants to be out there for the last play with his guys.
And he's definitely part of that group.
Yep.
I mean, Kieft, who's a 6th-year player, has been a huge part of the run game. Another guy who's had a great Minnesota career in sort of an unsung role, one of the captains. So there is that difference here. And I don't know if Minnesota's going to call a timeout, so they can try to see if they can scheme up a play where can we kill 8 seconds and end this game.
Take the snap, run around for a while, head back towards the long end of the field.
I'll tell you one thing, if Minnesota can figure out a way, and they believe they have the pipeline in place, I mean, they may not get Faalele production, but if they can replace some of their big guys up front on offense, 2022 has a chance to be a really good year.
Yeah, I think they've got the talent there from what we've been led to believe about the replacements that they have for next season. But I think, like with any offensive line, it takes some time. So that offensive line might take a few games to gel before they really start to perform at the level that they will need next season in order to be a contender in the Big Ten West.
All right, could be the final play. We'll see if Tanner Morgan can run around for a few seconds. Otherwise, maybe one more snap coming on the other side. Out of the timeout, Morgan is going to take a knee. Well, I think West Virginia was going to let him, and now they'll just let they have to stop it by rule. They have to stop it. It's a change of possession.
They had to hold off on the hugs and the handshakes for a few minutes.
So I don't know if Tanner Morgan just decided, well, they're going to come tackle me, I better take a knee or what.
I thought he was going to take a few more steps back.
So West Virginia is going to have to snap the ball one last time. Some great careers coming to an end on the Minnesota side. And for that matter, West Virginia, a few more players have actual decisions to make. Haven't announced those decisions, but the likes of their quarterback, Dagey, stills along the defensive line.
Very curious to see what Dagey decides to do.
Final play from scrimmage here. West Virginia running the ball. They'll add a few yards to their total, but no more points. The Minnesota defense was just dominant tonight here in the desert. PJ Fleck will take the ice bath, and his Gophers get their 9th win of the season. 18-6 the final score. Minnesota with the win.
Tremendous game plan for Minnesota defensively. Great job. And then the freshman running backs behind that huge offensive line had a great night. I actually thought West Virginia defensively did a nice job, but for Dagey, he just got beat up too much at the quarterback spot.
That's a pretty good formula. Play great defense, pound the ball on the ground, and use that guy, Daniel Fa'alele, a unique player in college football. Got a touchdown run tonight to help his Gophers to an 18-6 victory. For Rod Gilmore, for Stormy Bonatoni, for Joe Taylor, our producer, Mike Griffin, our director, our great ESPN crew, Dave Fleming saying so long. Thanks for watching this presentation of college football on ESPN. Sports Center starts now.
Hey, T, superstar. Move. You're that guy. You're that guy. Okay, Kyle. Makaya, MVP.
Welcome to the ESPN app postgame presented by Capital One.
Some things can't be tried at home.
Where next?
With Capital One, the possibilities are unlimited. Introducing Venture X, our new class of travel card. Earn 10x miles on hotels and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, plus receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. Find your where next with Venture X. What's in your wallet?
All right, before the trophy presentations out on the field, time to take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. We're giving it to a lot of folks on the Minnesota side. Their ground attack was awesome.
Well, and they deserve the award. You think about this dominant performance by an offensive line that helped Thomas get off to over 100 yards rushing. This was an offensive line that was pushing people into the end zone. Take a look at two linemen joining Thomas in the end zone on that touchdown. And if that wasn't enough, Bucky Irving also got his chance to shine, more than 100 yards rushing for him. But the best play of the night, Daniel Faalele, the left tackle, 380 pounds, 6'9", scores his first collegiate touchdown with a 2-yard touchdown run.
And the Gophers are waiting on the field on the stage for the trophy presentations. For that, let's send it down to the field to our colleague, Stormy Bonatoni.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 Guaranteed Rate Bowl Trophy Celebration. Let's hear it for both teams, everybody, West Virginia and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Joined on the stage here, representing the Guaranteed Rate Bowl by Chairman of the Board, Patrick Barkley, Executive Director, Mike Mealy, and Senior Vice President of Mortgage Lending for Guaranteed Rate, Jeff Lake. Let's hear it for these three gentlemen on the stage. We got some hardware to give out. So Patrick, can you please give out our first trophy tonight?
Sure, but first, on behalf of the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, I'd like to congratulate both teams for an outstanding effort today. It is our honor to present the Guaranteed Rate Bowl Championship Trophy to Coach PJ Fleck and the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Raise it up. Coach Fleck, congratulations to you and your team. You got into town early. You're staying late here for a trophy celebration. Given all of the ups and downs that your team has had this year, how satisfying is this victory to end your year this way?
It's very satisfying. These guys have worked really hard, been through an awful lot, lost a lot of guys along the way. Every single one of them have personal stories of overcoming adversity. They triumphed through all that. Got to give West Virginia, Coach Neil Brown, a lot of credit. Really good football team. That was a tough football game. And just want to thank Guaranteed Rate, want to thank the Fiesta Bowl just for an unbelievable week here in the desert. We really appreciate it. These guys deserve it. It's a tremendous cherry on top to the season. We're just so thankful to be here. Thanks for all your hospitality. Roll the boat, Sky Mile, go Gophers. Thanks a lot. Can I thank our fans? And thank you to our fans, the best fans in college football, baby.
Now that's how you do it. Patrick, I know we have some important individual awards to give away as well today.
We do. The offensive player of the game is Kai Thomas.
Yes, you're big time. We got to talk to you.
All right.
144 yards on the ground, a touchdown tonight, and a bowl win. And after a season where you didn't know what your role would be on this team, what's this feeling like? How would you describe it?
It's a great feeling to go out here. Some of the guys last ride, the line did a great job. We came out here executing and just did what we had to do to get the win.
We're not done yet. I would love for you to talk a little bit more about this offensive line of yours, though. And did your guy, Daniel Fa'alele, steal a little bit of your spotlight tonight with the thick six, the big man touchdown?
No, the line did a great job up front. Daniel really didn't steal it. I feel like he deserved that touchdown. So shout out to him. Shout out the whole line. They did a great job. Oh, we still talking? All right.
No, enjoy this. Enjoy this. Congratulations.
We have a defensive player of the game, Tyler Newman.
Tyler, I don't think you've wiped that smile off your face since the minute this game ended. What are you feeling?
Man, this is amazing, man. To come out here one last time with our seniors, these guys, man, this is a special team. You know, we knew that from the beginning of the season, so just to end it like this is exactly what we wanted.
The defense has gotten it done all season long, but what a performance from this entire group today. What is so special about your group on D?
That knock mentality, you know, that alley mentality. Yeah. We coming for you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna knock. We're gonna do what we have to do. You know, I love playing with these guys, so it's just awesome.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I would like to wrap up by thanking Guaranteed Rate, our sponsor. So thank you. Also, the City of Phoenix, the Big 10, the Big 12, our great Guaranteed Rate Bowl volunteers, our fans out there for joining us. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.
Let's hear it one more time for your 2021 Guaranteed Rate Bowl champions, the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
All right, indeed. Congrats to Minnesota. That concludes our coverage of the Guaranteed Rate Bowl post-game ceremony, brought to you by Capital One. For Rod Gilmore, for Stormy Bonantoni, great job by Stormy down on the field, and our entire crew, Dave Fleming. Thanks for watching, and good night.